This is the 17th season of Bass Talk Live with your hosts, Mark Jeffries and Matt Pingrat. BTL is brought to you by Lawrence, Bass Cat Boats, APCO, Ducket Fishing, Strike King Lures, Sunline, Big Bite Baits, Spro, Exo Lures, Yamagatsu, The Bass Tank, and Denali Rods. BTL coming at you. Good Wednesday, everybody. Welcome once again to another edition of BTL Bass Talk Live, where Bo and I are going to talk bass fishing and anything else that we want to talk about. Yes, a special show with a special guest host, BTL fan Bo Stevens, right here in studio. Bo, thanks for being here, man.
Wow, that's quite an introduction. All the way from the bass fishing mecca of Knoxville, Tennessee.
Very nice. Very nice.
Absolutely.
I love Knoxville. It was one of the favorite places I went to covering stuff. Great classic there and a really, really cool town.
Yep.
The football atmosphere, better than some of the places that I've been to. Probably top 5.
For sure.
All right.
And we will bounce back sooner or later.
Well,
and yeah.
We're going to have the Sooners.
Oklahoma
That's right.
is trying to get in on that. What the heck? Oklahoma and Texas trying to get in the SEC to I know. Yeah, I don't know if they want some of that. I don't know if they want that.
Well, people have been wanting me to discuss that. I'm going to save that for the marathon show because I have quite the opinion on that entire situation and do not want to get into it on a regular show because...
You sure?
Yeah, that would do nothing but make people mad because I'm not talking about
Let's don't talk about football.
Fishing.
We're talking about bass fishing. That is whatever we want to talk about. There's plenty of football, but hey, that's why Knoxville's so great. We've got bass fishing. We've got football. It's all in the Tennessee River right there. It's the culture of East Tennessee. It's amazing.
That is correct. We might get into it just a little bit later in the show. But today, a great guest, one of our favorite guests here on BTL, Oklahoma season pro, one of the superstars in the game, talking about Edwin Evers, is going to be joining us live via the Sunline Hotline.
Awesome.
And we're going to talk about his season, talk about the ups, the downs. 2 events left. What does he have planned? And then the dude is building a lake. I don't know if you've seen any of his YouTube stuff and some of the stuff that he's put on social media. He is building a ginormous lake on land pretty close to his house.
I'm going to guess that's going to be pretty good bass fishing eventually.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess
a tremendous amount of homework and just stuff totally away from moving dirt that has to take place to build this lake the way that he wants to do it. So we'll get into that. All right. Bo, I need to do this. Now, for those people out there that have watched for numerous years or listened to, I try to do things for the fans. And I was actually perusing a lot of the classifieds and Facebook marketplace. I was looking for a specific bowling ball. A bowling ball back from the 80s, okay? And I ran across, something came across my feed, and it was an Empire Covers ad. Well, we're trying to promote Empire Covers here on BTL over the next few months, and there was something very unique about this ad that showed up on my feed.
Okay.
And I made a phone call, and I said, you know what? We need to take care of the BTL fans.
Always. Shot
an email, got a response back. So here's what we're going to do. From this point forward, folks, until this promo ends, not 15% and free shipping for all the BTL fans. Forget about what the commercial says when I run it. BTL fans are now going to get 60% off on any Empire cover that you order online on empirecovers.com. So if you've been holding off on getting that cover for your truck, your boat, your car, whatever it is, here's your opportunity. 60% off for BTL fans. Just use the promo code BTL60 when you check out. All right, enough of the commercial stuff, but that
okay.
really irritated me.
That's okay. You got to put a cover on your boat. You got to put a cover on you. If you love your bass boat, you got to have a cover.
Yeah, it really kind of fired me up, and I was like, hey, man, we got to take care of the BTL fans.
Of course you do.
You're doing this over here. Hey, we got to do at least 60% off for the fans out there. So if you're looking for a cover, have at it. The second thing I want to mention, the feedback that I've received from the last two shows that I did with Ken Duke, unbelievable. Some of the best feedback, some of the best insight that I've received from the fans, Bo. You guys mean a lot. And a lot of the points that the fans make, very, very, very valid. And I have made the comparison. I've made the statement. The bass fishing world is kind of like the swimming pool, and everything else is the Atlantic Ocean. Let me tell you something. You guys in the swimming pool that truly, truly love this game have some great, great ideas. And there was a lot of discussion about ICAST, whether or not the public should take part in ICAST. There was a lot of discussion on requalifying for the Elite Series and a lot of discussion on lures and just, I can't thank you guys enough. The feedback via email, because I don't do social media. Yeah, I'm too old for that.
We know.
All right.
We know. Some of us do. Some of us do, though.
You're
Mark.
right.
Some of us do.
But the people that have taken the time to send me emails and give me your viewpoint, outstanding. Please keep it coming. I'm trying to respond to everybody that does send in an email, and some of them are novels, Bo, like 2-3 pages.
Oh, you got time for that?
Oh yeah, I make time, man.
Listen, BTL fans are smart.
Look at you, you're here.
I will hope to prove that at some point in time today. I don't know when we'll get there, but I'll make a point or two, and I can guarantee I have an opinion.
Yeah. We'll see.
You gonna let me share some of those? We're gonna debate. What are we? We're gonna get after it?
No.
Listen, can I say something? I'm gonna interrupt. I have to say something.
All right,
okay, right out of the gate.
All right.
So doing this show, I gave the analogy to somebody the other day. For me, as a bass fisherman, what I'm doing right now, where I'm sitting. You ever? I know you're a basketball guy. You watch TNT, NBA on TNT with Charles Barkley, Shaq.
Oh yeah.
Kenny.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Very nice.
I haven't decided if I'm going to be Shaq or I'm going to be Kenny or I'm going to be Charles, but I'm gonna be educational and entertaining and what? Engaging? Are those the three things I got to do
Entertain,
today?
educate, and engage.
Awesome.
All right.
I'm going to do it.
So far, so good, man. So far, so good.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see how you do with that.
I just hope. I have 4 kids. I hope they are tuned in.
Say hi to them.
What's up? What's up, crew? My squad. Allie, Riley. They're looking for a boyfriend, and I said they can only. They're identical twins. They're 25. I'm not looking for a boyfriend for them, but I said if you were to choose one, I need a team. I need a team partner for the tournament trail.
Right.
For a buddy. So that's kind of the bar. And then my son Cameron, he's at UT, will be a senior. University of Tennessee, thank you, not Texas.
Not Texas.
Big Orange. He's going to make millions. Business analytics major. He's killing it. He's going to do awesome. Yep. And my youngest, I told you, the basketball player, Hannah Claire.
Yeah.
Streaky 3-point shooter. Oh, my goodness. Beard and Bulldogs. Yeah, we're going to have a big season. So I'm excited about that. And my lovely and talented wife. She's fantastic. She doesn't know the difference between an A-rig and a wacky rig, but that's okay. That's not her job. She's making East Tennessee beautiful one house at a time over there.
All right. There you have it.
Good stuff. Thanks. Had to get that in.
Good stuff. All right. Tell the fans and me a little bit about yourself. What do you do? Your fishing experience. What's your game? What do you like to do? Hopefully you like to throw a Carolina rig.
I do. And I'm not saying that to make the show go well today. I do. I'm a dragger.
Yeah.
Right? There's crankers and draggers. I'm kind of a dragger. My fishing buddy Michael will tell you that. I will tell you what kind of fisherman I am. So Michael and I try to, a couple times a year, get together and go on a destination fishing trip. First time we did this a number of years ago, he's getting back into fishing. Now, this guy builds rods, paints lures for me. He's a outdoorsman, but he was really digging into fishing, right? Like at the level I am. So we go to Chickamauga. I said, let's go to Chickamauga. This was a number of years ago before they had a tournament, 500 boat tournament every weekend.
Okay.
So we're at Chickamauga, and I am quietly, calmly working really hard to get him to catch them. right? Just I want him to catch them. Long story short, I was retying or something. He's up front on the trolling motor. He's got his KVD cranking rod. That thing loads up, bends over. I don't know if he thought he was hung or whatever. He goes, "It's not a bass." I said, "It's a bass. We're at Chickamauga, bro. It's a bass." He goes, "It's not a bass." Long story short, I scoop up one. I had to be close to 9 pounds.
Ooh.
Right? Biggin'.
Ooh.
Big Florida largemouth head like this. I scoop it up in the net, and I am so excited. I go to give him the big bro hug like this, right? I go to hug him. At that point, he kind of bends down like to grab the fish out of the net, and I hit him with the left right across the jaw and about knocked him out. I was so excited for him catching the fish. And then the funny part of that, we were at Island Cove Marina that night. We go to sleep, we're in the room and lights are out, and he goes, I hear him, he goes, "Hey, you awake?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, I sure hope I don't catch a big one tomorrow."
It was 9+, huh?
It was awesome. And then we proceeded to kill them the next 2 days. But anyway,
wow.
Enough about me.
That was before the chick was the chick, huh?
It's a busy place, but it's still cranking out the fish. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So anyway, I grew up fishing. My dad was in the sporting goods business, was a factory rep with Browning Arms my whole childhood. We moved around some, so I fished all over the country. My dad was fantastic about taking me fishing and making it fun. Though we fished really hard and we were trying to catch them, it was always fun. Great places to eat,
Yeah.
Onion fried burger in Oklahoma on the way home. So I've been addicted ever since, and I think he gets credit for that. But it's been a part of my life the whole time.
All right.
So, what you doing over there?
Well, no, I'm looking.
You need me to keep talking? Is this the part where I keep talking?
No, I'm looking at the instant feedback. Here, let me throw this up here real quick. Hey, if that thing's not working, like he says, anybody try BTL 60 on Empire covers? It tells me the coupon code cannot be applied. You let me know. I'm going to make a phone call immediately after that show because they told me that coupon code was active. So if it is not active, just keep trying. I'm going to get on the hotline as soon as this show's over and find out what the heck is going on.
Listen, I'm going to interrupt. This guy, TK Tacklecraft, says, "Bo, I feel like you've called into the Feinbaum show."
Have you ever?
Do I sound that like East Tennessee? I'm the reverse of Bradley Hallman. Bradley Hallman grew up in East Tennessee,
That's
moved
right.
to Oklahoma. High school and college, Oklahoma State, go Cowboys. Back then, fortunate enough, God blessed me to move to Knoxville, Tennessee. So, okay, I sound like I called into the Feinbaum show. I don't know.
You sound good, man. You got a good radio voice.
You think?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's
maybe
pretty good.
Maybe it's something for me. Matt, hey, if Matt makes the elites, then I'm here for 4 days a week.
I don't think you're moving back to Oklahoma.
We're 10 minutes in, and I've already, this is awesome. Let's go. Let's go.
Didn't you go to high school with, who was the guy that won the Heisman Trophy? Jeez, I just went blank.
Oh,
Went to PC North.
He's younger than me.
Can you remember? I should remember.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed that I don't know the guy's name. You know what his best sport was?
Unfortunately, he went to Oklahoma. So
he did. His best sport was ice hockey. He was a massive hockey player.
He made a lot of money playing football.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Anyway, good stuff.
Thanks.
All right.
I hit a shot or two at PC North while I was there. No 3-point. I'm so old. There's no 3-point line, but I was still shooting that far out. Yeah. Unfortunately,
man,
Coach
what is
like
his name? I cannot believe. I see his face. I see. Guys, help an OU grad out here. Jeez.
HC hit me up in the comments. What up?
Didn't I think he played for didn't he get drafted by the Vikings?
Yeah, signed a big deal.
And then he's just kind of
if only we had a computer device that we could look
Matt
things
brings
up
his
on.
laptop. Anyway, that's
sorry.
I'm sorry, but I did clean the desk. Dude, it is sparkling. It was a mess.
It's nice. It's clean. Thank you.
All right. Sanitized, no
I
worries.
hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I was counting on that.
Crisp and clean. All right. Speaking of crisp and clean, we're going to take a break.
Edwin's crisp and clean.
Yeah. Sam Bradford, thank you. Yeah. He was after you.
Oklahoma. Whatever.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, folks. Jeez. All right, we're going to take a break. Come back with Bo
Let's do it.
and Edwin right here on a Wednesday. Everybody stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Elite FS puts the full range of Lowrance fish finding tools at your fingertips. Find fish with active imaging 3-in-1 with Fish Reveal. Target fish with active target live sonar and watch fish react to your lure as it happens. Built-in C-Map Contour Plus charts make it easy to find key fishing areas. But best-in-class charts and powerful sonar is only the beginning. It's easy to build your fully networked FS system. From sonar and waypoint sharing to controlling the Ghost trolling motor and power poles. Lowrance Elite FS. Targeting fish just got easier.
BassCat's legendary 20-foot platform has been paired with angler-approved accessories for 2021. Puma FTD features the proven hull used by many of the top names in bass fishing today, backed by a transferable lifetime warranty. The Puma FTD boasts a full team deck concept which enhances efficiency for you and your tournament partners. Turnkey tournament-winning performance. The Puma FTD SP from BassCat.
I've made my living on the water for over 20 years.
For 14 years.
For over 23 years.
I've worn a bunch of different clothing brands over the years.
Some companies big.
And some companies small.
All of them said they were making clothing for us.
But none of them knew us.
None of them were us.
Except for one.
Except for one.
Except one.
AFCO.
AFCO.
AFCO. AFCO.
Fishing isn't part of us. It is us.
Everyone, Brandon Palnick here. People always be asking me what I got tied on. I'm like, X-Zone Lures. And they're like, Brandon, why you got X-Zone Lures tied on? And I'm like, let me show you why.
The bite.
Get out of there. Get out of there. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's freaking digging. Get in here. Oh, God. Giant. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
I think you get the point.
Let's face it, fishing electronics are no longer an afterthought. They've become a necessity. And at the Bass Tank, our experts match you with the right electronics, provide professional installation, and educate you to help maximize your catching results while providing support along the way. Because let's be honest, it's about catching, not just fishing. And when you're ready for better results, join the Bass Tank team. Visit us today on Facebook or go to thebasstank.com.
Monofilament. When, where, how, why, when would I fish it? Gerald, there's a lot of lines out there. When do I choose monofilament? Anytime your bait's floating. How about that? If you're going to throw top water and you don't want to throw it on a light braid, throw it on monofilament. For instance, I just left the Sabine a few months ago. I was throwing a small popper on 14-pound Supernatural. The line floats super right, but the castability of it will blow your mind. Supernatural monofilament to me is anything you want to throw on the surface, go with monofilament. Anything that's going under the water, you can go with fluoro.
All right, we are back on a Wednesday with our special BTL fan guest host, Bo Stevens. And it is that time to go to our special guest, Bo.
Let's do it.
All right. I think I was pressing the correct buttons. Edwin, you there, man?
I'm here. You guys surviving without Matt and Dave trying to press the right button?
Edwin, we're thriving. I'm working on a job offer already. My goodness. The fans are hitting me up here on the comments. It's awesome.
He's doing a good job, Edwin.
Oh, whatever.
Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. Hey, man, thank you so much for taking time out. I know you're super busy, got a lot going on, but greatly appreciate you taking time out to join the show. And I want to dive into a few things, Edwin. One, I think the fans would really get a lot out of you talking a little bit about your thoughts about this year for you on the BPT. And I always like doing the follow-through of what you feel that you've done really, really good this year, and even being a superstar in the game, what you feel that through the events that you've had this year so far in 2021, what do you feel that you need to improve on, if any? So let's talk about the good part first.
there's always lots of stuff that I need to improve on. One of my things that as you continue to fish and fish these lakes multiple times through the years, and Rayburn being one of them, you get kind of locked into where you think it's going to be won, or where you think you can finish. I've always said that generally 5 out of the top 10 will come out somewhere around the Black Forest and Harvey Creek, and I really tried to make that happen at Rayburn, and through my career, I get a little stubborn, and some of these lakes are changing. Rayburn and Toledo Bend being, the last couple times I've been there, they're evolving. They're getting older, and I need to approach them more like I would a lake that I don't go to every year, or that I don't have so much history on, and that's probably the biggest mistakes that I made this year, was just being a little hard-headed and trying to make the fish be in a certain section of the lake that I always felt they were for 20 years. And, they're still there, just they weren't at the times that I was there. And that's probably my biggest downfall, just trying to make it something that it wasn't being stubborn and not making the right adjustments.
All right, so I wanted to touch on the good part. Obviously, I think everybody can learn from that, what you just said. But let's look at it kind of some things from a historical standpoint. Does history hurt you? Is that one of the things where you do get hung up on history, not just this season, but has that been something that has been difficult for you to overcome? Because I know a lot of fans out there listening, they don't get that time on the water and they rely on history. But at your level, what has history done with your game, Edwin?
It's funny you ask about that, Mark. A lot of the tournament wins that I look back on, it was always the first time that I'd been to that body of water. And it's because you approach it like you didn't know anything about it. And I'll find a section of the lake that maybe is not getting as much pressure as those areas that historically are good, or, you're looking at it as an open book. But also history does good things for you. Just to think about the St. Lawrence Seaway, I won an event at the St. Lawrence Seaway, I don't know what year, 2015, 2016, somewhere in there, and I ran the opposite direction from where, like, the year before we were there, all the weight was caught down by the Lake Ontario, and Brandon won it out in Lake Ontario. But, ever since then, we've had 2 or 3 more St. Lawrence events, and I've still tried to make the end that I won compete. And so the history there was, I was the first one to go fish that in. Well, those fish were brand new, green, fresh, never had any tournament pressure. It's never been the same. I think I've got to get, the Messina end out of my brain, because, I think there's a different class fish, or maybe there's more fish the other direction. So history's good and history's bad. I think for me, I've got to, it's kind of a little bit different too. In with the Bass Pro Tour, we're getting 2 days of practice, where in the past we used to get 3 days of practice. So, 2 days, you've got to be kind of around them. With the 3-day practice, you could make a mistake one of your practice days and not be around them, or eliminate something really off the wall. But trying to get back to your question, history is good and it's bad. It's a fine line, because sometimes it can lead you astray, and you spend 2 days of practice trying to find that history, when if I didn't know that history, I would have been that much closer to finding what's actually happening for that year, for 2021 or whatever year it is you're on that body of water.
Yeah. So I get that, Edwin. So if you're talking about limited practice time, boy, that history, if you've hammered them somewhere before, that's in the back of your mind all the time, isn't it?
Nonstop.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Yep. And and the clock's ticking, and you're trying to, I got to figure something out. And I know they're in this part of the lake. And I know that history is a blessing and a curse, right? Gives you.
Yes, sir. It is.
Nope. You don't see it as clearly sometimes.
All right, Edwin. Two stops remaining: Lake Champlain and St. Clair. What are your thoughts going into Champlain? A lot of history to that body of water. And is that one of your favorite places to go, or do you just not like the vastness of that lake and the decision of, especially with this format, do you make the run to Ticonderoga? That's a time factor. Or is it one of those things where you want to spend most of your time, obviously, with your line in the water? What are your thoughts?
That's a great question, Mark, and it's one I've been thinking about every day since I've been home. You know, the first few events that I fished at Ticonderoga, I never made a cast anywhere other than Ticonderoga, all the practice days, tournament days, and then I had an event there that I decided I wasn't going to go to Ticonderoga, and I fished the northern end, and I did okay. I've never had a great finish at Champlain, but I don't see myself making that run to Ticonderoga. You know, 2 days of practice, you can't touch a little bitty portion of that lake in 2 days, let alone try to fish the north end and the south end and do either one of them justice. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be practicing and come the first day of the tournament too. I mean, and that's just one of the things that we have to do, you know, in the Bass Pro Tours, because you might not always land on them in practice. And it's a great thing about that format, because I've had multiple events where I've been in last place after the first period, but, you know, you end up getting on something and you can climb all the way up to the top of the leaderboard when you figure it out. I don't see myself going south. I'm going to try to pick a section of that lake and try to break it down as much as possible. One of the most intriguing things for me on Champlain is I think it's one of the few events that, you know, when we go to St. Clair, we know smallmouth is always going to be the player. You know, when we go to Chickamauga, you know, or, you know, some other place, Florida, you know, largemouth's going to be the player. When we went to St. Lawrence Seaway, you knew 100% without a doubt smallmouth was going to be the player. We go to Champlain, I think they both could play. I mean, and that's an intriguing thing to me. And something that we're going to have to figure out, or I'm going to have to figure out, and all the other anglers, when I say we, you know, in a very, very quick time frame.
All right, quick question, then I'm going to send it to you, Bo.
Okay.
Help me understand this, because I want to make sure I'm saying the correct thing, Edwin. If you wanted to, you could actually start in Ticonderoga, and the clock does not start until the first period starts. In other words, that run time, wherever you run to, really doesn't matter, because the clock doesn't start, or you don't start fishing until the clock starts, and you could be in position. So if you did want to go down there, could you launch down there and then be ready when the period starts? Is that how that works?
Yes, sir, it is how it works. I don't know that you can get down there. Basically, at the St. Lawrence Seaway and at Champlain, they're giving us an hour ride-around time. And what that means is we can get to our fishing location. It gives us an hour to get there. This was such a big body of water, but I don't know that you can get all the way to Ticonderoga. You're probably going to lose 15 or 20 minutes of fishing time, because, yes, you could drive down there, put in, and by the time you do all that and get to, you know, south of that bridge, you know, it's a thing in Major League Fishing that we do, you know, because a lot of times we've got a lot of cameras. We've got 10 cameras out there in 10 of the 30 boat, or 10 of the 40 boats. So you just can't beat a guy up. In the old days, when you run Ticonderoga, it was an hour and a half, 2 hour run. If the you know, wind was really blowing, and we got to take care of those guys. You know, we've got to have a camera guy to cover the sport. We got to have a boat official to cover our sport. And you know, we don't have a sport unless we have those boat officials out there, you know, scoring us every day. So that's why we extend those ride around times in those bigger bodies of water. And you are right, you could get a lot closer down there. You're not going to lose a whole hour of fishing time by the start of the day.
Yeah. All right, Bo.
Okay. Yeah, I know Champlain's on your mind. That's what's up next. Can you take a minute to talk about St. Clair? I've been to St. Clair a couple times. Had some fantastic trips. I love that body of water. Have you been in September? What do you expect is going to happen there?
I'm super excited about it. I'd give anything if they'd open up that Canadian side just to let us have a little bit more water. But I don't think that's going to happen just with the way everything is. And I also don't think it's going to happen with how our scoring works between the Canadian cell towers and the American cell towers. But it's the best body of water, period. Anybody can argue smallmouth, but there is no other place like St. Clair. The amount of fish per square mile, that place is incredible. You can throw your bait in 365 degrees around your boat and you can catch a fish. It's just an incredible place. I've never been there that late. That's going to be something else that's intriguing, because there's going to be fish that are moving towards those rivers, to winter. There's going to be fish out in the lake. They're going to be everywhere, and they're going to be eating. Those fish really feed more so than our fish down here in Oklahoma to winter, to get fat for the winter, whatever you want to call it. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be epic. I'm really, really excited about it.
Yeah, as a fan, I'm looking forward to seeing that. There's going to be a lot of fish caught.
Yeah.
And then the way you guys play the game at Major League Fishing will be very interesting to see the numbers and size and how all that shakes out. So we'll be watching closely, Edwin. So Edwin, I want to talk about your YouTube channel. I got a couple comments, and then I want you to comment on it. So as a fan, you are perceived as an extremely fierce competitor on the water. So kind of had an idea of who Edwin was. And then you come out with this YouTube channel, and you are the nicest guy, giving up all the juice. I mean, in like the most like I want to go to Sunday school with you. And I'm like, that's not who I thought that was.
That's awesome.
When I heard all the dang it.
Yeah.
And Edwin, one more before you comment, I got something funny. So my buddy Michael, I referenced him earlier. He thinks he's funny, but anytime I talk about, if I mention in a conversation I lost a fish, he sends me an MLF clip of you where you lose one and you bend over and you go, "Dad, gummit!" Which you're to be commended, because most bass fishermen don't say "dadgummit."
Yeah.
So anyway, your YouTube channel, you are putting out, if people are not watching that, they got to check that out. That is unbelievable content, and the production, Mark can speak to that, but it's gems, and you are giving up the juice.
Oh, well, thank you, Bo. I'm really enjoying it. I enjoy fishing, and when you get so wrapped up in tournament fishing and the competitive side of it, and yes, I am a different person when, I guess, competition starts, and I don't know how not to be that person. I mean, I'm out there to pay my bills, to feed my family, and to win a trophy. That's why we're out there, and that part of it I love every bit of it. But yeah, I am a different person. I don't know how to not be that person. The thing about the YouTube is I'm just going fishing, and I'm figuring them out, and I'm enjoying it, and it's just fun to go have that side of fishing that I got away from for a lot of years, because everything was so wrapped up into the competition side of it. Everything I did was how to win the next tournament, and the YouTube channels made me fish a lot more here around Oklahoma, and I'm just like, heck, I went out and filmed yesterday, and it was like so hot that I don't remember the last time I ever fished, that time of the year, doing what I was doing. It's been fun. It's been a lot more work than I ever dreamed. I'm on the water more than I ever thought it's a lot. It's a lot, but I wouldn't trade it for nothing, because I am thoroughly enjoying it. And a big part of it too is Chris Neal, the guy that my camera guy, my editor. I like him. He's a lot of fun to hang out with. He's a young kid, and he didn't really. I don't think the kid had caught 10 bass in his life prior to getting in my boat. And well,
if he pays attention, he pays attention, he might catch a few. If he pays attention to Edwin and what you're doing, he might catch a few.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun out there.
Yep.
Hey, Edwin, can you remember the last time that you fished a team tournament?
Yes, I can, just because I was visiting with a boat official a couple of days ago, and he brought it up. But we had, back in the COVID days, we had a pro versus boat official tournament over on Fort Gibson, and Jason Christie and one of his buddies and Fred Robanis and Tommy Biffle and a bunch of us pros went and competed against the boat officials. It was just a tournament. I guess it wasn't just us against them, but the boat officials wanted to fish against us all, and they had trophies made up and everything. And me and my brother-in-law were like, "Yeah, let's go do it." And everybody that's from the state of Oklahoma knows Terry Butcher and the weight that name carries. So they think I'm some great fisherman, but when I show up with my brother-in-law, everybody knows him. I mean, everybody knows him, and we had a really epic day. It was a team tournament on Fort Gibson. Probably, I guess it would have been last spring. Is that when that was?
Wow.
I miss them. It's a lot of fun. Last night I was driving over the dam at Oologah, coming home from Grand, and everybody was just coming in for the weekly jackpot. And those are the ones that I miss. I used to fish a weekly jackpot on Texoma every week. I never missed one of them the entire year. And those are a lot of fun.
So, Mark, did you catch Edwin? He's so humble. It's probably slipped right by you, but it didn't slip by me. He said we had a very healthy day. You know what that means? He took their stinking money.
Yeah, he probably
took
did.
their money.
Well, and when you have Terry, when you have Terry Butcher in the boat with you, you're going to win some money.
Okay.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
you're going to win some money.
Those two guys show up at the ramp, right?
Yeah, everybody leaves. All right, Edwin, I want to ask you this. There was a touring pro, and I'm not going to say his name, but he brought up the fact that he felt that if anybody out there truly wants to become a professional angler, if you could master the Arkansas River here in Oklahoma, the Kerr Pool and the pool that's above that there's not too many things that you're not going to be able to conquer across the country. In other words, the Kerr Pool and the pool above the Kerr Pool basically has everything that's going to make you a better angler. What do you think about that statement?
I'm shocked at it, to be honest with you, Mark.
Yeah.
Really shocked at it. I think an angler could say the state of Oklahoma has everything that an angler needs. But when you narrow it down to the Arkansas River, in my mind, I don't see the deep crankbait ledge bite. I don't see that there. I see a lot of other things, like if you want to master the shallow water power fishing, current, crank, square bill cranking, frogging, swim jig, yes, I think that's the place that you can do it all and do it all like many different ways, and the grass that's involved down there, creek fishing, but that kind of fishing you can do in a lot of places in Oklahoma. I'm kind of shocked at it. So,
yeah, the guy that said that. I'll tell you sometime, but I was somewhat surprised by his statement too.
Listen, the comment is if you could catch him on a TVA reservoir around East Tennessee, you're a straight hammer. Come on, Ed. Tell him.
You know who it was? It was Justin Lucas said that.
What's he know?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Justin Lucas said
that's surprising.
Yeah. He was thoroughly impressed with the Arkansas River.
I wouldn't know that he'd fished it that much. I think of Justin as a California guy in the Delta, and I think of Justin as obviously learning the whole Alabama Gunnersville area. He won at the Delta. I think he won at the Potomac River too, tidal fisheries.
Yeah.
Super strong smallmouth angler.
Oh, big time.
Yep.
Big time. And you want to talk about a fierce competitor. Don't be throwing me under the bus on a different person's boat.
Edwin,
he's a fierce competitor.
Yeah, you're a football player. So were you defensive back? What were you?
Sir.
Yeah, see, I didn't even know that, but I knew that. I could tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's tough.
He could play a little bit. All right, man, last thing I want to bring up. You are building a monstrosity of a lake. And I know we've kind of talked a little bit about it, but the time that is spent before a drop of water is ever placed in this lake has been crazy. What can you tell the fans about that?
Oh, guys, I just thought it would be so simple. I just thought, man, you get a permit, you build a dam, and it fills up with water. And I thought all I had to get was the Oklahoma Water Resource Board permit. And I got that permit. That's the permit that allows me to build the dam, that allows me to build a lake, Well, the Corps of Engineers, they basically said, no, you have to get all of our permits. And I've got to do an impact study. I've got to study for some different, make sure there's not endangered species. There's a small little, they think it might be a wetland on it, that I have to do a study on it and the impact of it. It's just a process. It's been very educational. I don't want to, disappointed, yes, because, man, I was ready to get started last December. And, here we are in July, and I've got this great weather of no rain, going into August. And I'd love to have it started, but it's going to get done. It's taken me a lot longer than I ever dreamed.
Yeah, it sounds cool, man. I can't wait to see what the final product's going to look like. All right, Bo, final question for Edwin?
Yeah, so I'm on social media. You're not, so you wouldn't know this. Yeah. So you just took a saltwater trip with your family. It looked fantastic, Edwin. You want to talk about that?
Golly, guys.
What did you catch, or what did you not catch?
I took my son down there for 4 days.
Where were you?
We went to Venice, Louisiana the first 2 days, and went with a company, Voodoo. I don't know the company, but I know the captain of the boat fairly well. We went on a tuna trip last year up to Canada, and invited us down, a great group of guys, and I took my son out. The first day we went 110 miles offshore in pretty big waves, and I was amazed at how, good the boat handled it. I was like, I'd give anything for this boat when I'm on Erie or Lake Michigan or something. But we run out there. My son catches one on the first cast, catches 3 or 4 mahi, and then the tuna go crazy. We start catching tuna, and he catches a shark, and it's just like at noon. We'd only been there a couple hours, and I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to reel in another one of these 80-pound tuna. It's not. I mean, it's fun, but it's work.
Not fun. Yeah.
I'm back, and all I wanted to do was eat them. I'm like, can we start filleting these suckers right now? And we fished for 3 more hours, caught some more. We went in, get up early the next day, and we go about half that distance, and we catch our limited snapper. And I didn't know those things pulled so hard. And then we go sword fishing. And the swordfish is in the marlin family, I guess, and they're super deep, and it's a very rare fish. This is my Oklahoma education on this fish, so somebody listening, I could be way wrong, but I feel like it's a rare fish. And we drop out, we go to the bottom with a 5-pound weight, 1,400 feet, and we hook up one, and we lose it 45 minutes into the battle.
Oh, goodness.
We get our line all stretched back out. You got to think there's monster currents out there, and it's in a canyon, in the ocean. You're trying to keep this thing in a canyon. It's just a big drop. Anyway, we hook back up almost immediately again, and we all fight the fish the first 45 minutes. So I say all of us. Cade reeled on it some. I reeled on it some. A couple other buddies in the boat reeled on it some. Well, Jeff, a really good friend of mine, he's fished opens for years. He stays at my house when he comes up here. He's been trying to catch a swordfish now for 5 years. He lives down there. And he put that rod on him, strapped the rod to him in a harness. And it was Jeff versus a swordfish. Hour and a half later, we get this thing to the surface, and it comes up and jumps immediately in the first 20 or 30 minutes. I got a really cool video of it jumping I had on social media. But it goes back down, goes all the way back down the bottom. I mean, the drag, I can barely pull it out. And he fights this thing in the strap, stand-up harness for an hour and a half, and we land it And there was another one that followed it up, which has completely never been done before. It was so cool. The most iridescent purple. Long story short, we landed it, weighed 222 pounds. We cleaned that fish. It is the most amazing fish I ever ate. Yeah. Cade, who never eats fish, super picky 12-year-old, anybody's got super picky kids, he ate 2 great big swordfish steaks. He loved them. The next day we go snapper fishing, go cobia fishing, and it was just a perfect trip, father-son trip that I hope my son remembers forever, and I know I will. It was neat. Those fish pull really hard, and they taste really good.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Thanks.
Edwin, man, great stuff. Wish you nothing but the best at Champlain and St. Clair, and we'll definitely get you back on during the off season. And a lot of people want to know, what's the pecan crop going to look like this year?
The pecans.
Yeah.
This week they're filling out really nice. We got a lot of rain. I got the irrigation system going on the weeks it doesn't rain. I'm pretty excited about my crop. It's a good looking crop this year. So going to be good. I should have them off the trees around October 15th, October 20th. I've got a window in there that I'm home, and that's usually when I always try to keep that window open, but that's when they start splitting out of the shucks, and I'll have them hopefully up on our website by November 1st if anybody wants any.
All right. Very cool.
Awesome.
We'll have you back on, man. Good luck to you, Edwin.
All right. Thanks, Bo. Keep up the great work. Glad you're on the bud. And, thanks, Mark, for having me on.
All right, man.
Good
Take
luck.
care. See you. All right. There you have it. Edwin Evers.
Edwin. Did you think he took offense?
To what?
Was that a little rough on it?
No.
He's different on the water. Here, I got something for you. Here's
What's
what I
that?
was talking about. Listen to this.
Hold it up to the mic.
Dang it!
And that's what your buddy sends you all the time. And you're going to do it again? Here.
I got it.
Dang it!
I hope Edwin's listening.
That's pretty funny, man. That's
Dude, Edwin's
that's
intense.
good stuff.
He's intense.
He is. I've seen him in the early days when I was covering the Elite Series and being on the water and seeing these guys in action. I told you when we were talking beforehand, the difference between Edwin on the water and Edwin off the water, it's competition and non-competition.
So I'm just picturing, I'm coming around a point this way, can't see the other side.
Yeah.
Coming around a point, and here comes Edwin. He gives you the stink eye. He's like,
it's not the stink eye.
He's like, what are you doing?
It's not good.
Out.
It's like, you just know, man.
Yeah, you just feel it, right? Yeah, he's got that thing. He's got that thing.
Yeah, but that's why he's one of the superstars in the game.
And a good guy.
Yeah, great guy. And a really good example of he's worked really, really hard. A lot of people don't realize what he did when he was in Southern Oklahoma, attended Southeastern University, played football, as you mentioned, spent a ton of time on Texoma, spent a ton of time on the river, and
communications and business major, if I'm not mistaken. Smart dude, and put it to use with his marketing skills and is making a living.
And, you know, I don't know if a lot of people out there do remember Terry Butcher. Terry Butcher was actually on the Elite Series for quite some time, and that is Edwin's brother-in-law. And there's bodies of water in the state of Oklahoma that if Terry Butcher shows up, you just go,
done.
Donation. You still want to go fish?
Fish it for a second.
Because that's how Terry rolls. And Terry, and I forget who he fishes with, but when myself and Ed Barton were fishing what I call the old guy stuff, the tournaments that take place during the week, Terry would show up to that. And he'd whack him then, too. He's quite the angler and former rodeo guy. And
that's right.
Now he's doing very, very well with the family business, and things are going really good for Terry. So miss him, but very, very cool stuff. And folks, if you have not checked out Edwin's YouTube stuff, you need to, because Bo is dead on that. It is really, really, really good. All right, let's do this. Let's take a break. Then we're going to come back, and we can talk about whatever you want to talk about, Bo.
We're going to.
All right, everybody stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Pro-inspired, pro-designed. Tested and proven by legends on the water. Dominating the tournament trail for over 50 years. Everything you need, one legendary brand. Strike King.
Hey guys, Major League Fishing Pro, Jacob Wheeler here with my new Signature Series line of rods with Duck It Fishing. We have my 7.2 cranking rod right here. Crankbaits can be very fickle, and having the right, having a lot of tip can be too much, and having not enough tip can, lose a lot of fish. So you really got to be careful. If there's one or two techniques that I'm really adamant about having the perfect action as a crankbait, especially like a square bill, a DT6, those medium running crankbaits in the springtime when those fish's mouth are pretty tough. That's when I'm really on top of having my actions just perfect.
The Little John family of crankbaits designed by top tour pro John Cruz have excelled at catching bass in any condition for years. They all feature a flat-sided design and paint jobs that are seldom seen in mass production bait. The Little John family also expands with new rattling versions of the Little John 50 and Little John 50 MD. Both of these baits are proven fish catchers that will now be available in rattling versions for stained and muddy water. They feature the same great action and diving depths as the original 50 and MD sizes.
The Ned Rig. What rod should I be using with the Ned Rig? My favorite is the Denali Lithium multi-spin rod. It's our 7'4" length, great Ned Rig rod. It's got a great sensitive tip on it. It's long enough where I can make long casts, which you're usually fishing clear water with a Ned Rig, and it's got enough backbone to get those fish in. So check it out, Denali Lithium Series 7'4" multi-spin.
There's one.
You know what works. Now you need a bunch of them so you don't run out on your next fishing trip. The Big Bite Pro Packs feature 25 baits per pack at a price far below that of having to buy 5 packs of regular baits. Now the Pro Pack has a big brother, the Mega Pack. The Mega Pack features 100 of your favorite baits.
With these, one bag is usually plenty to get through the day. It helps me stay organized, helps me save money, helps me catch more fish.
All of us on the Pro Tournament Trail use Gamakatsu hooks.
Why?
Because they are absolutely the best.
It's not about how many bites you get,
it's how many you put in the boat.
Gamakatsu makes hooks for every fishing style.
We didn't come this far to lose fish.
Did you?
For more information, visit gamakatsu.com.
All right, we are back with our special BTL fan guest host, Bo Stevens. And once again, want to thank Edwin Evers for coming on the show. Good stuff. And next two events, they're going to be really fun to watch, Bo.
They are. I will tell you this.
What's that?
Okay? I'm going to give you an opinion. Not going to start any stuff. I got stories I got to tell, but I'm going to give you an opinion.
Were you afraid that I'm going to argue with you?
I'm not afraid. I'm expecting that to happen at some point. Okay, Major League Fishing.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a fan. I don't have to choose. It's all content. I love it all. It's good. Give me coverage. The one thing that bothers me about the smallmouth Major League Fishing events, if I catch a 6-pound smallmouth, that should not be equal to 3 2-pound smallmouth.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You're not the only person to say that.
Man, like a 6-pounder, dude, catching dinks shouldn't, I should separate. Anyway, but it's a different game. It's about catching them. And hey, let's face it, those are the best guys in the business doing it. And it's fun to watch them and how they break down a body of water. And they're forced to do it quicker there in MLF. They're forced. And so you really see them stressed and how they react. So it's awesome. I like it. Okay. I got things I got to talk about.
All right, real quick, let me address a couple things. Yes, I am working on getting Keith Combs on. I'm also working on getting a couple of guys from the NPFL on. So I know I've received some emails and some comments about when are we going to get the NPFL guys. So I'm working on that, folks. There's a lot going on. And honestly, with Matt not being here, it really makes it even more difficult sometimes to get some of the everyday things done. I mean, Bo saw. I mean, I'm pressing buttons, and wait till you see what happens after the show. The people don't get to see that.
Hey, that's going to be a while. It's going to be a while.
Hey, we've got all
Get yourself something to drink, folks.
I'm good to go. Let's go. Have at it, Bo.
Hey, so when I graduated from Oklahoma State University, my first job was with Humminbird.
Mm-hmm.
I was a factory sales rep with Humminbird. This was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So a couple stories about that. When I first started with Humminbird back in the day, like a big part of what I did, and I worked with the fantastic guy, Bill Easley, rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable guy. He hires me. I used to work at Kern Tackle here in Oklahoma City. Those of you old heads, OKC Bass Pro, Shane Kern, they taught me how to treat customers.
Billy
Moore, Lucky Lure. I'm going over there later today.
Very nice.
Pick up something. I guarantee you. I always stop in Lucky Lure and pick up some gems. So, where was I? Humminbird. Okay, so I go to work for Humminbird. I'm working for Bill. So a big part of that back in the day was tackle shows, boat shows.
Yeah.
The Tulsa boat show or tackle show. So I'm there. I think it's my first kind of season go around. Back then, if you were with Humminbird, the guys that owned Humminbird were West Point guys. When you were in the booth, coat and tie every time, without fail.
Yeah.
So I'm in my coat and tie, 22-year-old cat living. I mean, I'm work for Humminbird. Life couldn't be any better, right? So at that time, you have to know who Jimmy Houston was. Jimmy Houston was the biggest thing in bass fishing, period.
He was.
Especially if you're around Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
There was only Bill Dance, Roland Martin, and Jimmy Houston.
That's it.
That's it. And Jimmy Houston, Oklahoma guy, right? And huge sponsorship deal with Humminbird. Everything on his truck and boat and shirt said Humminbird, right?
Hey, I remember he had the enclosed trailer, one of the first ones, and it was branded completely with Humminbird. Do you remember that?
Do I remember that? Listen, so I know that being an Oklahoma guy, it's like I'm going to have this relationship with Jimmy Houston. Like, it's just coming. Like, we're going to be tight. I'm going to be fishing on his farm. I mean, like, I just know this is happening. So I'm at the Tulsa boat show.
Okay.
And so I'm doing my thing. I'm talking to customers. They're looking at the units and, all this. And then so when they said, hey, well, where could I pick one up here at the show? My job was to say who had them for sale at the show. And so, being the studious guy that I am, I had gone around the show previously and kind of saw who had what, even checked some prices. So if I really liked him, I would say, yeah, Jimmy Houston Outdoors got him, so-and-so's got him, and so-and-so Tackle Shop's got him. And then I would go, hey, but so-and-so Tackle Shop's got him about $30 less.
Wow.
Go, oh, thanks, Bo. Man, you're the best.
Wow.
So that went on for a while. That went on for a little while. And then I look up. Wow, here comes that blonde hair, man. Sunglasses, the whole deal, right? Here he comes. I'm like, oh, he's coming to meet me. He's coming to talk to me. Like he's heard that we got a new guy and I want to meet Bo. And yeah, so I'm like, oh, here comes Jimmy Houston.
Yeah.
Kind of aggressively walking towards me. I know you had an experience with Jimmy, and let me let people know Jimmy is the best, and I mean this most respectful way I can. I love that guy. I mean, strong faith. He checks all the boxes. But one thing you may not know about Jimmy is about business. Jimmy makes money, and Jimmy is about moving product, man.
You're right.
He's competitive in that way.
You are correct.
So good for Jimmy, right? And so he comes over there, and he lit me up. Like, woo! To the principal's office.
Yeah.
And called your parents.
Oh, yeah.
Woo!
Been there, done that.
And so my buddy Bill Easley, who's older than my mentor at the time, who hired me, I was like, I'm fired. I had the shortest career in Humminbird history. Like, this is over. Jimmy Houston's mad at me. It's over. And so Bill's looking at me like, what did you do?
Yeah.
And I went over there. I said, I don't know, but I did something really bad.
Yeah.
He said, I'll go take care of it.
Yeah.
He did, but that was my introduction to Jimmy Houston.
Wow. Did you ever meet him anymore? I mean, did you ever
I was too
paths?
scared. I was too scared.
Really?
No, I was around. I don't even know if he remembered. I don't even know. I don't think he.
Oh, he remembered me.
Hey, I bet he did. You're unforgettable, Mark.
Dude.
You're unforgettable, dude.
Well, here I am
If you're telling him his hummingbirds are broken, you're not paying for them, he remembers you.
Oh, and it's got a size 13 right in the side of it, just crushed in there.
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Houston. This is not a valid claim.
This was not packaged correctly, Mr. Houston. So
I'm not
gonna
carrying
be
that
able to-
message.
Holy moly, man.
Hey, the other good hummingbird story, my buddy Dave Overstreet, who I fish with down in Florida every now and then, Hammer, by the way, he worked for Humminbird at the time. And so I would, once in a while, he was out of Indianapolis, so I once in a while would go up north, made me very uncomfortable. I don't fit in up there, guy named Bo. But we think it was the Detroit show, but I'm going to tell for Frank Scalish's behalf, it's probably Cleveland.
All right.
We're up there at a sports show, in the booth, again, coat and tie, customers, consumers everywhere. This guy walks up, big guy. This guy walks up. And at the time, we made a unit. We were ahead of our time. Humminbird made a unit called the 4x6. 4 inches by 6 inches.
Okay, yeah.
Genius. Big screen. All those depth finders used to be tiny. So we sold a 4x6. Had a few glitches, whatever. We get some back. People don't install them right, whatever. You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
This guy walks into the booth, has a necklace of lemons with the 4x6 tied to it, and stands there in the booth and tells everybody, "Don't buy Humminbird. They sell lemons."
Oh my gosh.
I was like, what planet are we on right now? Because if you did that where I'm from,
wow,
you get tossed out. But anyway, yeah,
wow.
That reminded me of that story. There was some weird stuff happens at boat shows.
Lemons.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, lemons.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Talk about iCast.
Yes,
iCast is awesome. New stuff comes out. So I told you my dad was in sales. It was a sales rep, Browning. They made great fishing rods back in the day, the Silaflex. I
remember that.
It had to be in the early 70s. And Ken Duke would know this. Mr. Twister. So at the time, we fished with plastic worms for those young fellas. And plastic worm. There was a cream worm, looked like a trick worm, right? Or the fat robo worm. That's all we had. That's kind of all we had. Or maybe it had a little curly tail on it. Maybe, but probably not. And so Mr. Twister comes out with this worm. Half of it is this long, slithery. They were the first ones to do it, right?
Yeah.
Pull it in the water and that thing swims. They were the first. My dad comes home from, it wasn't ICAST, it was ASA or whatever the show was.
Right.
My dad has like 2 of these.
2 packs?
No.
Just 2
a pack
worms?
back then was like 3 worms on a card.
That's it.
He talked somebody out of, and he came home with 2 of them. We lived in Muscle Shoals, Alabama at the time. My dad couldn't wait to get out to Pickwick, as the story goes. He goes out there with these 2 worms. He's behind one of the islands. Somebody, Pickwick expert, would know. Chucks it out there, and he's got this unbelievable story where he caught these 2 ginormous smallmouth on it. And then last time, as my dad would tell the story, one hits it and heads for the dam. He has no idea how big it was, but, the other 2 were 5 or 6 pounds, and this one was way bigger than that. And anyway, that's my iCast new bait story. But I remember to this day, came home with these worms that looked like this little snake. I was like, what is that? Weird. What is that? Oh, they got to eat it.
That's cool. All right, I have an update. I just received did you hear that noise? That was an email that I just got.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have been emailing my Empire Covers contact.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, he has assured me that the code does now work, and what you might need to do, just in case, go to empirecovers.com/BTL. All right. Then when you select your items and all that and everything, use the code BTL60 to get 60% off. He just verified.
Got it?
They tested it.
60 off.
Should be good to go. So now if you want a great deal on a cover for whatever, now it goes.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Somebody wants an update on Matt. Matt,
Yeah, we do.
Final day of practice. He did call me before the show. He wasn't going to be in an area where cell service was that great for the provider that he has, but he said he found something very interesting late last night and feels pretty good. He said, I could 0 or I could have 18, 19 pounds.
Well,
he said, I'm not going to have anything in between.
I don't know.
So
he can scratch them out. This may play in his hands. When it's tough, he's pretty good. I have the feeling from listening to him over the years. I think he's tough. When it's tough, I think he's good.
Yeah, you can't do a whole lot of dinking and dunking on this lake, though.
Here we go.
And that's where he's really, 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 really good at.
No dinking and dunking there?
Not a whole lot. Yeah, drop shot, but you're fishing shoals.
Yeah.
And
He'll figure 'em
the
out.
issue there is you may have 40, 50 boats loaded up on one shoal, but there's several shoals there that are 7, 8 miles, one particular, that everybody fishes. So it's a matter of crowds, it's a matter of timing, it's a matter of the wind, all those factors. So we'll see. But feeling much better than he did after day 2 of practice.
Good.
Because he was actually struggling a little bit, hopefully. And what he found is not unique to that lake, but pretty cool.
Okay.
That's all I can say. He
Yeah,
didn't really
that's all
go
you
into
can say.
detail.
Don't give it up.
That's all I
Yeah,
can
don't
really
give
say.
it up.
But it's pretty cool. And if
Good.
he catches them, he's gonna have 18, 19 pounds. And it may happen in 15 minutes, too.
Well,
And
we're
then-
pulling for him. I love following his journey here.
Yeah.
Yep. He's
Yeah.
on it. I love Matt. He's humble. Kind of tells it like it is.
Yeah.
I appreciate his style for sure.
Clay, I don't know if the Oneida Open is going to be live or not. I can't remember. I know the Grand Lake one is. Do you know that, Bo? You kind of follow that stuff. Do you remember? I know Grand Lake is for the Centrals. I don't know.
Ooh, I don't know
think
about
the
those
last one,
I should. I don't know.
which is at the SLR, the Northern.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's the one that's going to be live. And then the last one in the Centrals, Grand Lake is going to be live. And then I think that's it. I could be wrong, but I know those two for sure.
Okay. Hey, talk. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Another message. Jake, I will be reaching out, giving you a phone call a little bit after the show. So he posted a comment, not on YouTube, but over on the instant feedback.
Okay.
So you'll be good to go for tonight. He's got a locker room session with Frank Scalish. So
awesome.
Good stuff. All right, man. What else, Bo?
So I've had some good experiences this year. You kind of encouraged me to. I've always followed the sport really closely. I've fished some tournaments, but that's not. I'm more about going to the places where the fishing is really good, going to new places, destinations. St. Clair, been down to Florida with my buddy.
Yeah.
Good places. Chickamauga, back hit Kentucky Lake when it was rolling. I mean, I like going for a few days where it's really good. So anyway, you encouraged me kind of through your show. And I signed up to be a marshal earlier this year in February because the elites were coming to my home field, Fort Loudon Tellico.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty easy to do. So I paid my money and hopped in. Hope for the best on the draw. I went 2 days. I had Scott Martin the first day, and I had, relatively unknown at the time, Takumi Ito. And I called... Yep. And not Taco. No, you didn't say that. I know. I hear everybody say Taco. I'm taking up for him because we're tight now.
Yeah.
So Takumi. So we, I called in on the post-game show that night. I don't know if you remember that, but I called in and I told a funny story. Well, what I thought was a funny story that he didn't understand pounds and ounces. He had no idea what kind of weight he has, and so we talked about that. And then, ironically, so many people listened to Bass Talk Live that Brian Brasher from Bass called me and said, "Hey, I heard about this little story. Tell me more about your experience with Taco." And he doesn't know the weight. And I was like, "Listen, I don't want to be disrespectful. This guy is come from Japan and put it all on the line. I mean, listen, let's make sure we're respectful." But anyway, so he wrote a little blurb in Bassmaster.com about him and the weights, and it was funny and cute. But I'm going to tell you something. You know, when you're around somebody and they just have a thing and a feeling. When I met him at the dock that morning, he was so polite, so respectful, And you could tell this positivity just came out. He could barely speak English at the time, though we communicated really well. But it was interesting. Old Bo, from Oklahoma, East Tennessee, trying to get it through to Taku. Man, I'm going to tell you something. I know cat's out of the bag. He just won, and everybody's excited for it. You can't, if you're around him, you cannot help but like this guy. But when I tell you he's focused, but in a way that he was not blocking me out as a marshal, or he would have conversation, but was completely focused on what he was doing, and his attention to detail was exceptional.
Oh yeah.
So so for example, he's throwing a jerkbait. The weather was horrendous. The fishing was terrible. That's the one where Gussie won in the canal doing a Canadian technique, caught all smallmouth. Nobody would have guessed that. But anyway, fishing was not good at all. So I wanted to see how they fished my home lake. Anyway, he's throwing a jerkbait that day, all day long. If he got hung up, if he caught a fish and he had to use pliers to get the hooks out, he changed the treble hook, and he was using these funky Ryugi treble hooks, with the sharpest thing I've ever seen in my life. If a fish got close to it, he had him and landed him. The dude is next level, I'm telling you. And when he would open up his box and his skeeter, and to change bait, and I kind of peek in there, he has some strange stuff in there. That stuff is not at Bass Pro Shop. Let me just tell you that.
Yeah.
It was cool. So I'm glad to see him have some success. His wife and young son were there at that tournament. They're back in Japan, I understand. This guy's awesome. Awesome. Yeah, and I love the Japanese translation. When he talks, so translating to English, he speaks in third person. So it's always Taku. I'm not making fun of you, Taku. Taku like finesse. Taku finesse fish. But Tennessee River bass like power. As he's jerking that jerkbait. He's jerking that Tennessee River bass like power.
Power.
Yep.
That's awesome.
That was an awesome experience. It was fun. I did a couple of days. And the Scott Martin thing, I mean, that's just, he's got a camera crew, he got stuff going on, and it's just another day at the office for him, and he's always on camera. But I think he's genuine. I think it's really who he is, and that's why he's got 600,000 followers on his YouTube.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
All right,
it was a good experience.
I want to go back to Ito. You said he changed hooks every time he caught a fish?
Maybe not.
If he used the
every
pliers,
fish, he would check the hooks every time.
Yeah.
And there was no hesitation if there was any point or anything to zip, 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 change that.
How quick could he do it?
Pretty quick.
Really?
Quicker than me. Pretty quick.
Oh, I'm horrible at that.
Yeah, I'm not great at it, but that was worth the time for him. Yeah. Right? So it's just a mentality of like, okay, I'm going to take this 15 seconds or whatever. I'm not going to lose a fish.
Yeah.
These fish are hard to catch right here.
So were there a bunch of guys late on day one, as I see one of the comments?
Absolutely.
What was the scoop on that?
So the scoop on that was they put in, if anybody knows, up the river, above Calhoun's on the river, great place to get ribs there by Neyland Stadium, home of the Vols. So they put in up there. Well, the current was exceptionally strong at that particular morning. And so what people don't realize is like, these guys are by themselves.
Yeah.
The elite guys, for the most part, I mean, some of them have their spouse with them that help them, but these guys are by themselves on the road all the time. And so they're launching their boats by themselves. And so they would have to, because their boats would sweep down the river, they literally would have to, instead of just floating their boat off and have somebody run it to them, they'd get in their boat, drive it off, come tie it up, get back out, take the truck off, whatever. So 80, however many of them, we couldn't get their boats in time. So matter of fact, that's a funny story. I was sitting there on the dock, like my first, like, oh, I got Scott Martin. Okay, this is going to be cool. And they're super early before takeoff. And like, some guys are already, the super early guys are there. No Scott Martin. I'm like, he's so rock star. He probably has somebody do this for him, Like they start taking off. Boat number one, so-and-so, they introduce them. They do the whole Bassmasters. They're introducing them. They're playing the music. Everybody's taking off. I'm like, Only guy on the dock.
No Scott Martin.
No Scott Martin. And then my phone rings. I see a boat off in the distance. My phone rings. Hello, Scott. I said, yeah, I was hoping so.
Huh.
He said, be ready. I'm going to swing by. He says, the ramp's a mess. Be ready. I'm going to swing by and jump in. So we took off, but he was not frazzled. It's just whatever. Fishing was so terrible, I don't think he thought anything of it.
Yeah. Did you learn anything? What did you learn?
I'll tell you what I learned under those tough conditions.
Yeah.
Extremely tough conditions. They didn't really fish any places that were super sneaky that I didn't know about or anything like that. One thing they were, both of those guys, extremely, I use the word thorough. Like if they thought this was a good spot, they fished it for an exceptionally long time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wow, how many times are you going to throw at that rock?
Yeah.
I don't think there's one there. And then he'd load up and catch one. So one thing that surprised me, you think these guys are, and some of them act that way, that every moment counts and I'm in a hurry. Scott was not that way. Scott hung up a little homemade square bill, which is extremely East Tennessee. All the bait companies are kind of getting into that now. But he had a couple homemade square bills left, and that's the only thing he caught anything on in practice. He hangs one up. He literally spent 25 minutes trying to get it on hunt.
Wow.
I'm like, bro, you're in an Elite Series tournament. What are you doing? I'm like,
wow.
He says, I only have one more of these, this color. I can't lose this one on day one. So we messed around.
Did he get it back?
He finally got it back. It was hung up in some cast net under this bridge. He pulls it out, gets it, right? And caught fish on. That's the bait he caught fish on and hung it there. And he figured out if he thought a fish was there, he would stay there until he got a bite or just absolutely couldn't take it anymore. And so he was very thorough. So was Taku at that. Taku is efficient but not in a hurry. You can feel it. Like he's not wasting a second, but he's not in a hurry. It's weird. Dude's good. And listen, he was on a Dave Mercer's a friend of BTL. I know he calls in once in a while.
Yeah.
So Dave Mercer had him on his podcast. He's interviewing Taku. There's a little language thing. And so Dave was attempting to ask the question, Taku, what do you do when you're not fishing? The answer was fishing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he says, I concentrate. So he is 100%. I would not want to compete against that guy.
Yeah, he's already went, at least we've had reports, to some of the bodies of water that he has not been to on the schedule for next year.
It's his job.
Yeah. I like that. That's a great point. It is his job.
Yeah.
So, man, that's good stuff. Very good stuff. Now, several people out there wanted to know, are there guys that still do the camping thing and take their campers and all that? Yeah, there's still a number of guys that absolutely do that, take their family out on the road. I don't think as many as in the past, but I think there's still a core group of guys that are on the Elite Series and the BPT that do that. Yeah. I mean, do you remember seeing a bunch of campers and stuff when you were there?
I was not where they were staying.
Okay.
That launch is downtown. A lot of them were staying other places, houses, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't get a glimpse at that for sure. But I will tell you this, Hank Cherry, 2-time Classic winner, right? He's coming out with a jerkbait, and he's known for a jerkbait.
Yeah, right here. That's it.
The Stunner.
That's right.
Yeah, let me take a look at that.
No.
I want to look at that a little closer.
You can look at it later.
Listen, so you kind of get these vibes. Well, he's a jerkbait fisherman. They get a reputation, and I'm always like, yeah, I get it. He fishes a jerkbait, but like to compete on the elites, you got to know how to catch fish everywhere on everything.
Versatility.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? How you going to make a living out there? Those guys are tough. So I'm on the dock, and I'm walking down. All the boats are there, and so Hank's talking to somebody, and I look over there. Again, it's Fort Loudon in February. I get it. Smallmouth, largemouth, pre-spawn. Dude had 8 rods out. 8 jerkbaits.
Wow.
That's it. I was like, if he catches them.
What time of year was this? I know it was early.
I think it's late February.
Okay.
It was bad weather.
Interesting.
Anyway, the Marshall thing is cool. You got to kind of have a mindset to just chill and take it all in, and which is hard for somebody like me to sit there. You can tell already, but 2 days was good, and I had
plenty
great guy, plenty. Yeah. And the funny thing, so I live kind of across the street from Fort Loudon Lake, the Tennessee River.
Mm-hmm.
And so 1 mile or so from my house is a boat ramp. I mean, and in East Tennessee, what's today, Wednesday? Oh, there's 25 guys fishing right now on a Wednesday, right? I don't know what the, anyway. So we launched downtown in Knoxville, and by water it's 35 miles, something like that.
Okay.
So I get up super early, drive downtown, get on the dock, hop in the boat with Taku. Where do you think he pulls up?
35 miles away.
Right in front of where I live. I was
Yeah.
like, dude, if you'd have told me, you could have just picked me up over there. I could have skipped the whole 70 mile an hour run for 40 minutes.
That's pretty funny.
You know, in rain. Yeah. Anyway, he's working on his boat driving skills. So
Yeah, that's good stuff. Were you surprised that Gussie won? Fan wants to know.
Absolutely. Where he won was not surprising to the locals. But how and that time of year and all of that, because the end of that tournament, they were starting to catch them up in the river. Jason Christie, Kennedy, some of those guys were starting to catch the bigger largemouth and bigger fish. We had high water, I believe, cold water, bad weather. That just doesn't mix in February. And so it was super tough. If you'd have told me he could weigh in limits of smallmouth all 4 days, I would have said, no way. But he did. Yeah. That's a popular place to fish, but not doing what he was doing, how he was doing it. And that was cool. That was cool because nobody else was doing that.
Yeah. All right, man. You've been around the game for a long time, as you brought up your history with Humminbird and all that. Have you ever had thoughts of fishing the opens and doing whatever, or back in the day, the Redmans to the Strens to the
That's a great
FLW
question.
Tour?
That's a great question. But I kind of grew up, some of the best fishermen I knew were not necessarily tournament fishermen. So, yeah, my competitive nature wants to do that. I could not make the math work. I have 4 kids. I have 4 beautiful kids. Listen, I have 4 beautiful kids, and I like to catch them. I don't want to practice. I don't want to shake them off.
You just want to catch them.
I want to crack them.
Yeah.
I don't want to shake him. Shake him off for what? He's got it. Hit him over the side. Throw him back. Do it again.
That's awesome.
You know, that's just. And I want to go somewhere with fishes. I could not make the math work. And I will tell you this: I was a very involved father. These guys make a sacrifice that is not for the weak. Everybody, your whole family has to be on board. Listen, I didn't miss ball games. I helped coach. I'm glad I did, but guess what? My youngest is senior in high school, so I'm gonna have a little time to get after him. I might jump in some. I don't know.
But not in your younger years. You never thought about it.
You're gonna make money.
Yeah.
It's just there's a certain amount of money you have to be willing to lose to then just go fish and be free. I don't want to fish going, I gotta make the cut to get back home. Really?
So
that's a tough one.
From a professional standpoint, who do you really get intrigued and really like to watch when the live is going, no matter what tour it is? Do you have a favorite angler you like to watch?
Brandon Polinick.
Okay.
Hackney's awesome. Hackney's a cool dude, and he likes to hammer them. Jason Christie's, Oklahoma dude. He's tough. I like those guys. You know who's really good? Brent Ayler. That's an MLF guy. And I'll tell you what I'm mad about. A week ago, you and Matt did the pick teams, your fantasy teams in this alleged...
The franchise
league you've created.
Yeah.
I was yelling at the... Well, I watched it later, but...
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me you two guys go back and forth and have a draft and nobody picks Bobby Lane? Come on.
Yeah.
That dude is hot and can catch them.
I don't.
I love Bobby Lane.
Dude, there was
what
a lot
a great
of people.
guy. Yeah, but
a ton of people.
Not
Jeez.
ahead of Bobby Lane.
I don't have my list.
Really?
I wish
Look at that list and tell me
I
who's
wish
better
I
than
had my
Bobby
list
Lane on that
somewhere.
list. Oh my goodness!
I mean,
and that talk about a cool dude. I like Bobby Lane, and he figured out he's learned how to catch those small. And I know everybody knows this. He does this thing where he swings them in, and then grabs them. I don't even know how you do that.
All right, I have too many pieces of yellow paper here. Let's see.
That's all right. I didn't mean to bring that up, but as I'm giving the opinion of a fan here.
Yeah,
as a fan, I was sitting there going, "What?
All that,
yeah, they're all good."
I got nothing, man.
But those of you listening, he just threw 20 pieces of legal paper all around. This is exactly what I expected on BTL. This is what I'd hoped for.
Well, we haven't got into an argument yet, though.
Well, we're about to because nobody picked Bobby Lane. That's garbage.
Yeah.
Dude's a hammer.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I'm working on that, getting Brad Hallman and Castledine on.
Yeah, you need those two guys are
Working on
awesome. Those two guys are awesome.
Yeah. Got to get with Brad. That's got to work out with Brad's schedule, and we'll try and get that done when they get back. They've got a month in between opens, so that'd be good stuff. We'll try and get that done. All right.
Don't
fan
stop.
wants to know.
Yep.
Fan wants to know what kind of boat you run.
Well, I'll start by saying this.
What's
had
that?
a Bass Cat for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say that I know they support the show. That boat was unbelievable. I kept it in my garage, and I'm telling you, right? I fish every chance I get. I fish.
Yeah.
That boat was unbelievable. You could not wear that boat out. Everything on that boat was pristine. It was the old style era.
Okay.
It was an 18-foot boat that was amazing. When I went to sell it, there's a whole culture out there of people looking for that boat. It's unbelievable. They were the first ones with a digital dash. No, that dash was still good after a lot of years. Unbelievable Bass Cat. I have a Phoenix. I found a guy that had a 2-year-old Phoenix decked out, had 2 little girls, wasn't fishing, got a great
boat.
It's a 19-footer with a 200 because it will fit in my garage, and I'm not sitting a boat outside. No offense.
Yeah, the retirement.
No, my
boat.
stuff's inside.
Yeah,
I'm
the
keeping my
retirement.
tackle tight. My wife comes out there. We're the typical. We got that fridge in the garage. She coming out there to get a cool beverage, and she's like, "You in the boat again?" I'm like, "I'm tired of FG night. I got no time. Talk."
How long does that take?
Hey, I'm pretty good at the old.
Be honest,
I'm
you're
pretty
pretty
good at the
good?
old FG. Yeah,
Are you?
That's the deal. Yeah, it took me a while, but yeah,
Less than a minute? Can you do it less than a minute? Less than 2 minutes?
I haven't timed myself, but I can do it, and I can do it on the water too.
Huh?
It takes a little while, but it's not bad. It's the way to go.
I can't do it, man. These hands just, too many games.
Get line going. You don't
I
have the
got-
attention span for that one.
No, I got too many games in these. What was that?
You
Fred
got
G.
bowler
Sanford, with the arthritis.
Bowler hands. Big bowler.
I
It's
can't
awesome.
do it. No, man, the retirement boat's outside.
Nice.
It's because we got the studio right here.
You have a lot going on. We know that.
Yeah, got a lot going on. All right, real quick, I do want to tackle this subject. Yesterday, Ken Duke and I got into a discussion. It might have been Monday. I can't remember, about field size on whatever tour, the ABC tour. It doesn't matter. On whether or not you earn your tour card is how we were classifying it the next year. Ken's thought process was it needs to be a 3-year average. Got to be a 3-year average. My
you're tough.
opinion, on the other hand, was no, man. You got 1 year to finish in the top 80 in a 100-boat field. 1 year. Now, having said that, let me give you a little bit of info. I reached out to 3 people yesterday. 1, a superstar in the sport. 2, kind of a midstream, well-known angler. And then thirdly, an angler who is no longer going to be fishing the Elite Series.
Okay, that's fair.
All right?
Cross section.
I posed the question, and their names mean nothing in this discussion.
Okay.
I posed the same question. Is 1 year, 8 tournaments, to have the opportunity to finish in the top 80 out of 100 anglers, do you feel that if you don't finish in the top 80 that you deserve a tour card for that following year?
Yeah.
All 3 guys answered, no, I did not earn my tour card. 1 year is the right number.
Surprised.
Are you surprised by that?
Very. It's a big commitment. Sponsorships, money. It's change of life. I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Right? To go out there. But they all 3 said, hey, if you're
And they
not
all
good enough,
3
you're not
said,
good enough to catch them.
all 3 of them said this too. They said, look, this is our profession. And if you're not finishing in the top 80 out of 100 anglers, you're probably going broke.
So it's just the top 80.
80%. And then I said,
maybe so. Maybe somebody needs to tell you to stop. Maybe
What do you
so.
mean?
That's what meaning. If you're not in the top 80, quit throwing them your money.
That's my point.
If you're not in the top 80, you lost so much money in expenses and entry fees and stuff and
everything
stuff
else
that
that
breaks
goes with it too. You
Like,
still got to pay
somebody
the
needs
mortgage.
to tell you, hey man, you need to get your stuff together.
And
unless you have unlimited funds, right?
Which some do.
Okay, that's
some
fine.
do.
That's how life goes. Some, yeah.
But 8 events, and then the superstar made the point. He goes, well, everybody has a bad year. And I said, wait a minute. I said, have you had a bad year? Well, no.
I want to know who this. Oh, Bobby. So Bobby Lane said,
It wasn't Bobby
I don't have
Lane.
any bad years. I'm a bad man. I like Bobby Lane.
So then the question was asked, well, out of 8 tournaments, is that not enough to prove that you belong in the top 80 anglers in the ABC Tour?
And so would you throw in there, if you win, you're in?
That was and they were okay with that, all 3 guys. So if you win,
you know what?
you're in.
I really want to argue with you to get the full BTL experience. I want to argue like crazy, but I can't argue that.
You agree?
If the players of the sport say, man, if you're not in the top 80,
yeah,
come on. So that's not bad. And I'm telling you, as a fan, I want to see Matt Pangrac, Bradley Hallman, Upshaw, Castledine. I want those guys in the stinking elites.
Well, I think everybody does. The fans
Come
do.
on.
I get it, but
We've gone through some change. Let's get those boys in there. But oh my gosh, they got to go through the gauntlet.
Yeah.
How in the world do you? I mean, those opens are locals, pros. I mean, oh my, yeah.
Here's the other thing.
You've done something.
This was another interesting fact too from these 3 individuals. Is they believe that the only people that should get bursts or slots in the Elite Series are the guys that fish all 9 opens. Because that truly is a proving ground to determine whether or not you have the moxie, the experience, the dedication, and the money that it takes to be able to do this at the Elite Series level.
All 3 said that?
All 3 did.
I'm in agreement.
All
that's your
3
commitment.
did.
That's like, look, I can hit the road. I know how to do this. I can do this lifestyle. You're setting them up for more success.
Yeah.
Because if a guy's 3-4 tournament, right? Like, I agree with that.
Yeah.
The guy is committed and wants in the elite. He's going to do it as his profession and is all in. Fish all the opens.
Yeah.
Best score gets in.
With one of the kind of middle of the road guy, angler, we got into a discussion about the AAA version of whatever should mimic or be exactly close to what you have to experience if you make it to the big leagues. In other words, he goes, I know it's different, but look at AAA baseball. Like the things that guys go through at AAA baseball, it's not the big leagues, but it's really close. It's just a scaled down version. So if you have your AAA, and look, guys, you got to fish 8 events, 9 events. You got to make the commitment. You got to practice. You got to put your game in. The other thing is, this was another thing that all 3 guys said. These were really, really good conversations.
Sounds like.
Said that there needs to be a off limits for the opens. And I agree with that. I don't know what the fans think in that.
I say yes. I mean,
that the opens need to have, because here's why. And the superstar made this point. He said, look, you give these guys free reign on open events. You know, they can fish for a month if they've got time. They can talk to whoever. They can do whatever they want to do. But when they get to the Elite Series, they can't do that.
Different skill set.
And it changes the game.
Different than being at a lake for 8 days.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then Matt from Oklahoma drives to Timbuktu to fish this pond.
So let me ask you this question,
yeah, what's up?
Bo.
Ask me.
Even if it's 1 year, if you can't finish in the top 80 out of 100 anglers, do you truly deserve a spot on the ABC Tour?
That's a yes or no. You kind of drill me down.
It's not open-ended.
You have, when you started this conversation, I was dead set on, no, you got to give these guys a couple of years. But when you lay it out that way, And then you hear the mentality of the fisherman. Top 80. Like, you're not talking about 50. You're talking about 80. And there's only how many?
100.
You didn't beat 20 people? Then you're in trouble.
Okay.
Yeah, you're in trouble, and it's time for that new cat. It's time for Nature Boy Matthew, get in there. Get his. We want to see him get his.
But
I'm pulling for him.
I really tried.
No, but Bradley Hallman?
Yeah.
Oh, man, come on. He's ready this time.
He's been there before, man.
I know.
He's dipped
That's
his
what I'm
toes in
saying.
the pool.
That's what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
he's at a different place in life.
Yeah.
He's ready. Who
Look.
I like him? I like listening to him on the show, man. Bradley's kind of got that. He's kind of intense, but a good guy.
Used to be really quiet. You heard the story on Bradley. Did he not listen to that show?
I listen to a lot of these shows. I don't know.
What happened with Bradley, I think it was 3 years ago. I asked Brad, I said, look, dude, I think you do really, really well being a part of the show every now and then. No, want nothing to do with it, man. All I want to do is fish. No cameras, no interviews, no whatever. No, I just want to fish, man.
Look at him
and
now.
now look
at him now.
He's a freaking stud.
He's putting stuff out there. Yeah.
The things that he does, and he's engaged, and the fans love him, and it's one of the best moves that he could have made, with the exception of one thing now. He's got to catch him, dude. And we've had that conversation before. And the one thing about Bradley, he has a lot of pride. It's not ego. It's that moxie pride that if he's not successful catching him, it bothers him.
Yeah,
it really bothers him.
I would not want to be in the truck with him driving back to Oklahoma after a bad tournament.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, go ahead. You got places you want to go with this conversation.
No, I'm reading the.
I know this
comments.
is hard to do, to read things and
Now
think
you
and
know
listen to you yelling at me.
Now you know how difficult this job is. See, people think it's just a piece of cake. Now you're getting the full
It's
experience.
fun. It's hard though.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Kind of like flipping.
Yeah.
So,
You don't like to flip, huh?
No, I love to flip, but
Okay.
to do it right, it's
Yeah.
tricky. So, last week, somebody either called in or they asked the question, and I took this. I couldn't type in or whatever. They asked the question: if I was a bass fisherman, where should I go to retire?
Yeah.
So you and Frank talked about it.
That's right.
So we got Frank's popular list, which I gotta be honest, I gotta hit him tomorrow on the show because
what did he say? I don't remember.
Let's think about this, Mark. You've been around and you're so listen.
Yeah.
There's a few places if you were a hardcore bass fisherman and you're gonna retire and you're gonna go, I want to live somewhere and I want to bass fish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is not a setup. Get out a map and look at Knoxville, Tennessee, okay? I'm just going to rattle off a few bodies of water. Norris Lake, Cherokee, Douglas, Fort Loudon, Tellico, Watts Bar, Chickamauga. There's some other little ones, Melton Hill. Listen, all those have dams and tailwaters. There's rivers. Do the river smallmouth thing like Ott does with the jet boat, okay? Or a smaller boat. You want to trout fish? The Clinch River below the Norris Dam. It catches huge trout. You want to hike and catch trout and fly fish? Okay, that's your thing. Fine. If you're a bass fisherman, 12 months out of the year, look at the map. Listen, sometimes I don't go to Watts Bar is unbelievable. I can't believe they don't have tournaments there. I don't know if it's a connectivity or whatever, or they're not writing the check.
I got it pulled up,
writing
man.
the check. Okay.
I got it pulled up.
Yeah, but look at that.
Okay, so there's...
Look at that.
Oh, that's Nashville.
It kills my
Hang on.
dad. My dad's like, oh, man, it's so hot in
Knoxville.
Oklahoma. I love where you live.
Okay, so there's a picture of it. So you got
Look at that.
Norris Lake. Norris is right there.
Huge body of water.
Okay.
Huge body of water. Smallmouth and largemouth. Deep clear.
Right here.
Right? Douglas. Yeah, you missed Cherokee up there. Cherokee above that.
Yeah, right
Big
there.
body of water. A lot of tournaments there, right?
Yeah.
You guys recognize these names.
Okay.
Listen, all those are within 50 miles. There's Fort Loudon Tellico runs down there.
Yeah. Okay.
Watts Bar. Yeah. So, okay. That's number one. Okay. So I know Frank goes to Norman. My goal in life now, after I've checked off BTL, is to get Frank to not go to Lake Norman. He needs to come to Knoxville and fish that early springtime. My goodness. Mixed bag, the whole deal. Okay, the other place is Alabama. 12 months out of the year, Coosa River, TVA, Gunnersville, Wilson, Wheeler, Pickwick.
Yeah.
Like I could go on and on. Smith Lake, like that whole thing. That's why those
Everybody's
pros live
in
in
Alabama, though.
I know, but if you're going to retire and go wake up in the morning and go, where do I want to go catch a bass today? Knoxville's a good place. Somewhere in North Alabama's a good place.
Yeah.
And then maybe the Ozarks. I don't know. I'll give you that. You love the Ozarks.
Yeah.
I'm not completely familiar with how close everything is. Like if you're at Table Rock, how
Yeah.
far are you from Bull Shoals and Truman and all of that?
Did you hear, or do you remember what city I said? Do you remember? You don't?
Sorry. I apologize, Mark.
It was Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Is that not a cool place?
Fantastic place.
Great place to retire.
But listen, if I'm going to want to catch a fish in June, yeah, you just go saltwater fishing. No, it's a great place to retire. I was simply looking at it as a bass fan. I want to catch bass. And I'm going to leave my boat hooked up to my truck. 365, and when I want to go, and isn't that what retirement's supposed to be?
Yeah. No, I get it, man. You make a valid point. Yes, you do.
Did I win?
There's no win or loss here. I'll take the loss. You know, I'm like 127 and 238.
No, you're good.
Do not win that many.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Okay. I got another thing from the fans.
Yeah.
You love to talk about the Bassmaster Classic. I've worked Bassmaster Classics on the manufacturer side. I've attended Bassmaster Classic, and there's an argument to be made. Like Knoxville showed out at the Classic that year before the pandemic. Like,
it was awesome.
It's a cultural. It's a thing. It's like a stinking SEC football game, right? People bass fish, and they're proud of it. So the Bassmaster Classic. Here's my vision for the ultimate venue experience for the Bassmaster Classic, and you're going to have to help me pick the venue, your sportscast, so you know where that might be. I immediately go to Jerry's World, Texas Stadium. Okay? Think Jumbotrons, stadium, screens everywhere.
It wouldn't even be half full.
No. Wait. Okay? All the booths are on the field. The displays. Right? So Academy, Dick's, who's ever there, Berkeley, Strike King, Lou's, all the vendors are on the field. Or in the concourse if the field's not big enough, right? So where they walk in, the smaller manufacturers or smaller booths that us guys want to find all the trinkets and buy stuff.
Yeah.
That's where the fan buys stuff. It's not an ICAST, and you and Ken covered that. That's not an ICAST. We don't want to go. Fans don't want to go to ICAST. Give me a break. Come on. You want to go to the Classic because companies now realize those are hardcore fans. They're going to reach in their pocket and spend hundreds, thousands of dollars at the Classic because they're excited and it's awesome. Okay? So you got me. So vendors around the concourse and in the field. So with live coverage, guess what's on the stinking Jumbotron? So, Grandpa and Grandma can sit in the stands and watch the fishing. Or if I'm tired, I got to wait for the weigh-in because the way they do it now, you have the expo in one building, and then you go to the weigh-in. And you kind of lose people, and then the weigh-in, we can't buy anything. Let's go to Texas Roadhouse and eat something, whatever. Yeah. So you lose people. So what I'm thinking is, like, what am I missing?
Well, let me back up a minute, and I don't remember what year it was, but this was kind of done already.
Oh, you're going to say Soldier Field.
No, I'm not going to say. No, and this was the Classic, and you guys out there, fans listening, might be able to help me out. I don't remember what year it was because I get my years all mixed up, but what they did was they had the outdoor show in the Superdome. Okay, all the vendors, everybody was inside the Superdome, and then the weigh-in took place at the arena that was just a short walk. So you could literally go from the Superdome, walk 100 feet or 200 feet to the arena to watch the weigh-in, where the...
But what if I could buy a stunner while Hank Cherry's weighing in?
Well, you could, because
you know what I mean? With the stadium and everything there.
Listen,
so you're not running people back and forth.
You are making an argument that I have been screaming about for years.
Once again, we agree. I don't even know if we have a show because you and I agree on everything.
That's not true. Okay. I've always said that they should keep the outdoor show going while the weigh-ins take place, but they don't do that because
they want
the people from the outdoor show to funnel in to the arena. Well, that kind of worked for the New Orleans one where they had the expo in the Superdome, and then people walked over, and then there were still some people in the stands and stuff like that. Great idea, great concept, will never happen. Okay? The classic that took place in Houston, I could show you pictures.
Okay.
Because you know what I did? I snuck up into the upper level.
Yeah.
And I was where I wasn't supposed to be. But
Perfect.
I took
like
some
it.
pictures of the left field part of the stadium. Left side of the stadium. And it was barely even close to being full.
But my point is, if that's the expo where the weigh-in, they have nowhere else to go other than to go home. You see what I'm saying?
But see, that's what, and that is part of the argument that I have been saying the last few years is just like June.
Because if your wife is tired of this and wants to sit down and have a Coke and a corn dog.
Yeah. They can't
My wife
do it.
doesn't drink Cokes and eat corn dogs.
Well, they can if they want to go out.
They could sit down in the stadium and there's live coverage while I'm buying my new rod and reel.
Well, you could.
Plural.
But they're doing that already. I mean, you can do that. It's just not the weigh-in because they want the people at the weigh-in.
We would be at the weigh-in. It's all one place.
All right.
See, I got you. You're mad at me.
No, I'm not mad. It's just it will never happen.
Okay.
It will never,
But you
ever,
like the-
ever.
But the
It would be
concept has
cool.
merit.
It would be cool.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, an outdoor venue would be great, but then the whole weather thing, that's a mess. Yeah. So I was thinking one of these venues, huge jumbotrons, I could just see live.
But see here,
going on
let's
while
go
the
back
Jumbotron.
to
That's
Fort
cool.
Worth. Let's go back to Fort Worth,
Okay.
the most recent one.
Yeah,
It was during the summer, and it was so freaking hot that what people did is, they were at the show buying all kinds of stuff, but instead of going to the weigh-in, they go, you know what, man, let's just go home. We can fire it up on the Vizio, hang out, pop a cold one open, and sit back and watch what's taking place.
Yep.
They didn't used to have that. And
There it
if you
is.
go back and you look at a lot of the videos from the Ray Scott era, man, those Coliseums were jam-packed. I remember the very first classic I went to, High Rock Lake in North Carolina, Denny Brauer won. It was standing room only.
I was at that one.
Standing room only, dude. And it doesn't work anymore with the availability of finding out information. The other thing that really hurts the attendance, in my opinion, is the bass track. And people having a really good idea on, he's just going to win. I don't need to go and find out.
Yep.
Or I'll go home and just kick back in the old recliner and pop one open and watch it.
Yeah, some folks are commenting.
Yeah.
Yep. It's changed it. It's changed it for sure. But we have more content, so we get to choose, right? So that's Bass's problem. It's not our problem. But, and one comment says, hey, do it like in my left. Nobody cares about the fans. There we go.
We are not getting into that
There
discussion.
we go.
We're not getting into that.
I'm not either. I don't like it. I like it all. I like it all.
It's strawberry and vanilla or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's whatever you like at that time. You have a choice, and most people like watching both.
So where are we on? You were reaching out to the folks at
White River Marine.
Yeah,
still working on that. We had that set up, and then the Hatteras purchase went down, where White River Marine purchased Hatteras yachts, and that got thrown into a dark, deep hole.
Yeah, not that we'll ever know the real strategy there. But as a guy my age, man, growing up, when you went to a tournament, what kind of boats you see?
Rangers.
Dude, when you were a bass fisherman.
Rangers, man, they were everywhere.
It was time to get
Rangers.
a boat. You could.
It was a Ranger.
That was, whew. Yeah. BASS sticker on the back of the truck and a Ranger bass boat.
Yeah.
That was as good as it got. And now,
I
don't want to offend anybody, I mean, they're a great boat. My buddy Dave's got a fantastic Ranger. But like on the tournaments, like they're not there.
There's a few.
Yeah, no, there's a few. Yeah, and
few.
actually, Scott Martin kind of was pretty candid about that when I marshaled with him about how that kind of happened. Made sense. Wasn't offensive. It's just a different marketing strategy. Business is taking over.
You are a business guy. It's a business strategy that they are taking, that they feel that their marketing dollars, their marketing budget is being spent on
other things.
And they obviously, for whoever took over that very precise
it may
situation,
make business sense, whatever they're doing. We just don't know what that is.
Not privy to the numbers.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to make a profit, right?
They have to.
Maybe they feel that this is the most profitable way. And I know some people out there have said some really kind of critical things about Ranger profits over people. That seemed to be
that's not. I'm not on that. Yeah. Listen, it's business runs, and you have to adapt and change. So some of us, they go, "Oh, I liked it the way it was. It was so good back." It's over, man. It's over. Social media. There's people that have hundreds of thousands of followers that influence purchases that are not tournament bass fishermen. And they're seeing that and reacting to that. So it's just business, right? Fishing is a business. Those companies building boats is expensive business. So I just was curious about that. They're selling a lot of nitros. I know that. I see a lot of nitros out there.
Hey, can somebody out there on the comments help me out on this? If you've watched the Olympics, Toyota has been running an ad, several ads, but they have this new campaign, and it's something to do with Impossible. And I cannot remember it. If anybody out there has watched the Olympics and seen that commercial, please throw that out there because I want to make a quick comment on that. I was going to write it down and I forgot. Are you an Olympic guy? You watch the Olympics? There's no way ever that fishing will be an Olympic sport. Ever. Agree or disagree?
I agree. No. We're a different culture. We're different. It's okay. We don't have to be everything. Those of us in the club, we're in the club. That's fine. We don't have to. I don't know. I mean, it's fine.
Here is the slogan. I found it. Their new ad campaign is "Start Your Impossible."
Okay, sounds like joining the Elite Series.
Well, that's kind of what I thought. I was like,
I'm 79th. I'm 79th place. I get to stay another year.
Start Your Impossible. All right, and here's the other thing, too. Fans, I'm going to ask you right now. Give us some feedback. I'll take your take, Bo. I'm seeing more and more commercials by companies that, let's just say, they do not engage consumer behavior. In other words, there's an ad for XYZ company, but it truly has nothing to do with XYZ's product. In other words, it doesn't entice any behavior from me being the consumer to go, man, I need to go check that out. And they're spending millions and millions and millions of dollars.
What we need is a college bass fisherman on a college team that's an advertising major to call us and tell us what the heck's going on with that, right?
I don't get it. And I know I'm an old school guy.
But like, what are they? I leave that commercial going, what are they trying to sell me?
Well, they just did, at least, and we're talking about it right now, whatever company this is. But when I saw that, I just was like, what inspires me? What develops my interest in shopping for a new whatever? And it wasn't there. But there's a lot smarter people than me out there from a advertising and marketing perspective that maybe there's a reason in there. Dude, I'm old school. Give me a benefit. Show me what's great about your product.
Man,
give me a benefit, and by gosh, I'm going to look at it.
You're the features and benefit guy, huh? You don't want to be inspired. You don't want to be inspired and moved and touched emotionally?
No, I have an old term that my district manager that promoted me at UPS told me.
What do you
Whiff 'em. You know what whiff 'em is?
What's in it for me?
What's in it for me, man?
So how I use that phrase in business is, hey, man, You know what radio station they're listening to? WIFM, buddy. You better be on that channel. You better be on that channel. What's in it for me? That's what they're listening for. How does this affect me? What's in it for me? Yeah. I'm in medical device sales, right?
You're all about
surgeons. You know, you're talking to surgeons. They don't have time for you. What's in it for me?
Yeah. Somebody says, you mean you don't get insurance from an emu or a gecko? No, I do not.
I bet you don't.
I did not save 15% or more or whatever in 15 minutes. No, I didn't do that. You know how insurance works? Insurance is a relationship thing in my book. My insurance guy has helped me out a ton.
Wheeler Fishing says brand recognition. So Wheeler Fishing, that sounds very familiar to me.
Yeah, but hang on. Hang on a minute.
Can I fish?
I get the brand recognition. I understand that. I remember the first time that Matt and I got into a discussion about brand recognition was when they named Minute Maid Park in Houston. I don't think it's called Minute Maid Park.
What just happened here in Oklahoma City yesterday?
Well, Paycom is now the new sponsor
of just mentioned them.
The Ford Center.
They got their money's worth. They were mentioned on BTL. Look at all the people watching. And how many people are going to listen to this show later? My goodness.
Time out. I get the whole brand recognition thing. I understand that. I do. I get it. But where did it get lost that the purpose of branding and marketing is to generate consumer behavior? In other words, what about branding? In other words, just because Minute Maid Park is Minute Maid Park, does that mean that I'm going to jump up every morning because I went to a Houston Astros game? By gosh, I need to get a Minute Maid. No, I'm going to get whatever's on sale or what tastes good to me.
If you're at the store and you're buying...
Dude, you're awesome.
And there's Minute Maid, you don't go subconsciously, you're like, oh, yeah.
Is it worth millions of dollars? In other words, I am a ROI dude.
Oh, wait a minute. DT8, Rapala. DT8. Oh, my goodness. They finally got one right in between that 6 and that 10. I got to have an 8. Oh. I don't know.
Dude, you rock.
I don't.
No, seriously. Let's talk about the fishing.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about the whole... Okay. What was the brand called? I forgot. Start Your Impossible or something like that.
I'm supposed to be listening, but I'm trying to read. I'm trying to read and listen. This is hard.
Are you more determined or more incentivized to buy a lure?
Oh, I want to talk about this so bad. Thank you.
Buy a lure that somebody has just won a tournament on, or one that just happens to be on an end cap at Bass Pro Shops? What's your answer?
Are we really going to go there?
We're going to go there.
Okay. Guy catches one on Hackney hammers him on a jig. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I got jigs. Maybe you got something else sneaky, whatever. I'm like, no, I got jigs. I don't know. I might buy a couple of whatever he's got that he's convinced me is unbelievable. Maybe. Okay. Hank Cherry kind of got the stunner. Yeah, he was fishing another brand. He's designed this. I saw him with 8 rods on his deck. Like, listen, I'm gonna buy a couple stunners. So this is what I wanted to get into. This is a fan's perspective because I'm the guy the company, the bait companies are chasing. I'm that guy. Nobody gives me anything. I don't care. I'm gonna buy what I want, and I'm the consumer, so I get to choose. So I'm always. I spent a lot of time thinking about this.
Okay.
Why do I buy what I buy? And that's what you're asking me. So, So the answer is the tournament guys influence me for sure. For sure.
The stunner.
For sure. Because I'll tell you what I don't like. What I don't like is when somebody's got something good, everybody just copies it. I hate that. Like, what the heck?
Dude, that's been around for
I know that, but give me a freaking break. Listen, I'm going to call out Berkeley. Berkeley's unbelievable. Pure Fishing has stepped up their game. Their crankbaits, their whole series, their max scent. Like, they are killing it. They are killing it. Their stuff now I didn't used to buy. I buy because it's stinking good. Max scent works. We know that. Power bait. I mean, we know that, right? It's awesome.
Yeah.
But they come out with the Z-Crawl Jr. just like Zoom. Like, really? You got to copy that? Oh, you got to copy the Kitech. Oh, you got to copy everything. Edwin, you got to make a dark sleeper like Mega, because Edwin's now with Berkeley. So we're going to make, so that way Edwin can use all of our stuff. And it's just like the originators, the original guys that make. I'm just like, come on, man. Give a little respect and like go, we're not going to do that. That's not our gig.
It's been that way for years, though, Bo.
I know it's been that way, but I don't have to like it. I'm like, some dirtbags. Really?
Jeez, man.
Really, man? You gonna knock that off?
It's part of it, man. And it's not just the fishing world. It's in a lot of businesses that takes place.
It's so easy in the fishing world. What about those guys that made the Alabama rig back in the day? And then,
when you had 12,000,
everybody's in their garage going, boop, boop, boop. We're paying $40 for a piece of wire, right? I did it.
But the fans know, dude, you're dead on. The fans know when this is taking place.
Oh, there's Bateman.
But
he knows.
Do they still buy it? They still buy it?
Evidently, because the companies do it, right?
They still buy it. You know why they buy it? Because XYZ angler just caught him. And he won $100,000.
Yeah, I'll tell you who's cool. I'll give a shout out. So where do we buy tackle? So where the real dudes buy tackle, right? So the hookup
Tackle Warehouse?
Well, yeah, Tackle Warehouse is clearly unbelievable, and they're building a new spot north of Atlanta, a warehouse. So like this whole shipping thing, they're going to solve that. They're going to have an East Coast distribution. I'm all about that. Get it to my house tomorrow. I ran out of them today. I'm on my phone at the ramp. I need 5 more packs of whatever, right?
Many people have done that.
That's fantastic, dude.
Yeah.
They changed the game. You remember how hard it used to be to get baits?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, it's awesome. But so these guys, the hookup tackle, they're kind of bougie. They sell that
what?
Bougie. You know what bougie is?
I do not.
You teach school. Anyway, high-end like stuff, like super expensive. But they have cool stuff. You get service. They communicate with you. They're awesome and give awesome information.
What was that word again? Boozy?
Bougie.
Bougie.
Oh, my daughter needs to call in.
Bougie.
Bougie.
I've never heard of that word.
It's a concept.
Okay.
Sorry, I left you with
that. Is it a lifestyle?
I completely lost you with that.
Is that a lifestyle?
Gosh, I ran off the rails. But anyway, that's super high-end stuff. But listen.
All right.
Man, Tackle Warehouse they're great because their website's so easy. Bass Pro's the biggest in the world, and their website is really difficult, folks. Come on, man. They can do better. Sorry. Wow. I threw it out there. When I go to my Bass Pro credit card probably got canceled here just a minute ago.
No.
But their website, like if I want a 6-inch black grape robo worm, good luck finding that in less than 20 minutes. Tackle Warehouse, you're like, zoop, zoop, zoop. Okay, they got them? All right, send them on.
Maybe
they're out of black grape, but they got margarita mutilator. Okay, send them on, bro.
Maybe that's one of the reasons why Tackle Warehouse is so successful. Ease of use, quick response time, materials in stock.
You know what's cool? My buddy ordered something from Omnia Tackle. They're coming up. They got a handwritten note. Hey, thanks for your order for so-and-so, so-and-so. Got it like in no time. Those boys are after it. They're after my business.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. You're dead on, man. Dead on.
I like it.
I'm not going to disagree with that. Yeah.
That's how I feel. That's how us fans feel, Mark. That's how we feel. The BTL.
That's why you're here, man.
Out of the BTL fandom.
Yeah.
Why? Listen, and folks, I would have on BTL gear today.
Yeah.
And I feel like I owe an apology.
What happened?
But my carry-on, so let that soak in. My carry-on that I carried on the plane is lost. I guess it's at the airport over here in OKC. So, anyway, I had travel difficulties getting here yesterday. So, they can't buy their BTL stuff right now, but they can another time, right? It's taking over the industry. Everybody's got a BTL hat on.
That's a good thing.
It's the new BASS sticker. Bro, you've done it. You've done it. You and Matt have done it.
Bo, listen. That was actually a subject of discussion many, many years ago. How many trucks back in the day, not the new BASS sticker, but the kind of not rounded.
The Brotherhood.
Not the new logo, but the old logo. You remember every time you went to the boat ramp, how many of those stickers did you see on the back of
The
trucks?
Brotherhood.
That was it.
That was all there was, man. That'd let people know this is what I do.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So now it's BTL. It's BTL.
Yeah. That's all
awesome.
Matt, man. It's not me. I'm not the social media guy. I just show up and
Scottsboro
push
Tackle.
buttons.
Yeah, Bateman says Scottsboro Tackle. Dude, those boys are legit. They got some swim baits. Like if you're on TVA,
yeah,
you better have that Scottsboro swim bait. Woo! Man, it makes you oof. Your followers, man, this is great. I can do this for a while. I know your followers sleep on me, but these guys are good.
Dude, we're doing 24 hours here in a few
You're
weeks.
crazy. Listen, I cannot wait for the 24-hour show because you're going to go off the rails at some point.
You think?
Oh,
What's
you're
the
going to be
over-under?
tired.
How
You're
many
going to be
hours?
hungry. Somebody's going to say
we're
something.
gonna have food delivered, man. I got that set up already.
I'm calling in. I mean, I'm going to call till I get in. Till hey, this is Bo. Remember me a couple weeks ago? Y'all forgot about yeah, that's me.
When's the next time you're coming to Oklahoma City? Because they want more Bo.
Yeah. Well,
the fans want more Bo.
Well, listen, I worked this out to see my wonderful folks and my brother and his family here. Squeezed it in, and you worked with me, and so I appreciate that. But otherwise, I would have been sitting out in the garage in the boat, try to get some cool background. But
yeah.
Anyway, we can do it. Whatever.
Yeah.
I just hope what I say, other people feel the same way.
I haven't seen too many disagreements on the comments.
Bo is like a straight shot of caffeine to the bloodstream. Maybe I need to be in motivational speaking.
I have to ask this because you're
get up out of your chair. You got to make it happen.
Oh, jeez.
Go catch your bass.
You're selling to doctors, correct?
Sometimes. Sometimes I'm fishing.
All right, when you're doing your
I'm like
job.
Taco. What are you doing when you're?
Yeah. Do you run across any physicians that fish? I'm curious. Do you ever get into a crankbait discussion with a guy who's doing a heart transplant or something?
It's not that. I've been in orthopedics. Guy's giving a total knee talking about it. I caught him on that powder blue chartreuse.
Yeah.
XD.
Yeah.
No.
They're all business.
Yeah. It's all good. We want them to be. Listen, if you're getting a total knee, do you want your doctor talking about crankbaits? You want him talking to me? I'm going to distract him. No, I can't talk about fish if we're doing that.
Have you ever taken a physician fishing, though? Because I know you medical sales guys, you like to wine and dine.
No, can't do that.
Can't do that anymore?
No, can't do that.
Oh.
Provide benefit. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, my buddy Dr. Edwin. Yeah, some of my homies in Knoxville know Edwin Spencer. He operated on Brandon Coulter not long ago. Yeah, he's awesome. Lives on the lake. Yeah, matter of fact, he's an orthopedic surgeon, so he lives on the lake. So I swung by one Saturday morning, picked him up, and we went fishing. It was awesome.
Did you catch anything?
Yes. Yeah, we caught some dinks. I didn't take him to the juice.
That's wrong, man.
I'm just kidding, man. Come on,
he's
y'all.
not going to do anything
Come
with
on,
the
y'all.
juice. He's going to be doing
hey,
knees
people
and
see
hips
that. People
and
see
all
that.
kinds of
People
other
see them blue power poles. They're like, oh, there he is. What is it? Let me put a blue dot on that. Let me put a.
Speaking of,
yeah, you got rid of them. Thank goodness.
Well, I
hated
sold
that.
them all.
Oh, you didn't get much for it.
No,
yeah,
I
put
didn't.
a blue dot on that Bose Island over there. You better go check that out.
No, the blue dots are gone. Blue dots are gone. Well, I know a couple of physicians that love to fish.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like every walk of life, right? There's a few people, but the cool thing about the bass sticker is I can go talk to that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. The brotherhood.
Listen, we always want our sport to be bigger and all that, and we want it, and that would help things on the tournament scale. But you know what? It's fine. Bass fishermen are passionate. Wow, if you're in, it's deep. Look at me. I'm a mess. I'm a BTL. My poor parents hadn't seen me forever. Sitting over here in your
So I'm the
studio.
reason that you came to see your parents?
No, it's my hang up with bass fishing, and I'm good with it. It's awesome, man. I just can't do practice. I was with a friend of mine, Dave, and we found some spawners, and he's like, "Oh no, we don't want to catch that. We don't want to catch those. I got to catch it." I'm like, Sorry, I'm giving the eyes. For those people, I was like, hey, man. Put that power pole down for a minute. We better catch a couple, see how big they are, so we can just come on. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't have to be Edwin. I don't have to be Edwin. You know what I mean? The sport's awesome. We can do it however we want to do it. But I dig tackle. Yeah. You got people watching here that are big into that.
So, do you go with the supplementation?
Well, you're gonna listen. I want Matt to make the elites and just buck the whole jersey thing.
I don't think he can do that if he makes
No offense to anybody. I dig it, man. That's cool. You look cool.
Yeah.
It's just, no, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I heard you and Matt talking about it. Like he said, if somebody walked into ICAST, would they think they were at Comic-Con or something? Like dudes running around with these jerseys and stuff on? Like, what the heck?
Hey, it's cool in competition. When they're in a competitive environment or a promotional environment, I can see it. I've said that all along. But when you're cruising in Crest getting groceries on a Sunday night,
it's a little. Hey, I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee, bro. You don't think I see?
Do you see him? Do you walk up to him and say, "Hey, man, when's the tournament breaking out?" Have you ever done that?
I will now.
Hey, man, when's the tournament breaking out?
You just.
I didn't mean to put an idea.
Are you late? Are you early? Or why are you in your jersey, bro? Yeah. You picking up snacks here at the Kroger? why are you in a jersey at this Kroger? Baller. Oh, okay. You're a pro. Oh, you're a pro. Okay.
Derby's getting ready to break out, man.
Nah. I'm old school sneaky, man.
Yeah.
Old school sneaky. BTL t-shirt.
Yeah. That's all good.
Get them. Yep.
That's all good. All right. What else, man? You're a big hit, man. People want more of Bo. Bo knows.
I'm spinning. Okay. So high school fishing is unbelievable. I came through school. People knew I liked to fish, but it wasn't a thing. It is so cool now. So my youngest daughter, all her friends, believe it or not, they know I fish. And so they're into it. It's cool. It's not nerdy. It's not. They dig it. They wear the stuff, whether they fish or not. I love that. But I had a very strange experience. I was a captain for Hannah Claire and one of her classmates that played football. And we fished in a high school tournament, which I thought I was doing a great thing, right? Oh, captain these kids, driving around, put them on these hogs. They're going to have a great time. What I did not consider is that, and I'm a little concerned about, is that they're trying to learn how to fish. And a tournament is not really most conducive to that. A lot of us, I mean, I get it. You can see everything on YouTube. You can watch Edwin's stuff. You can watch everybody's stuff and learn it. But doing it with somebody that's done it for a while, that's how guys really learn, right? I could just tell you how to walk because they're a spook. But I can show you and you get it. I can show you in 5 seconds you get it, right?
Yeah.
So I took them fishing and we're in a tournament. And like, you're not supposed to help them tie a knot. You're not supposed to. They run the trolling motor, everything. I don't know that was a fantastic experience that it would have been if we'd have just gone fishing. And I'm saying, here's why I'm using this. Here's the depth finder. Here's why we're pulling up on this. Here's what we're doing. Oh, yeah, you got a weak hook set. Come on, man. Reel down and crack. That, you don't get that. And maybe it's me because that's not for the tournament. That should be done previously. But, I don't have enough time to do that all the time. But that was a little really hard for me to see chunk of Zara Spook out there and reel it back in.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, don't you have this little twitch reel, like walk the dog, man? This thing's, if I take 5 minutes and show him that, so that's kind of different. But I don't want a bad. I'm such a fan of fishing and bass fishing specifically. I don't want a young person to have a bad experience early on and think it's all about flying down the lake and all of that competition, because it's stinking fun.
Yeah.
That's why these guys do it. Yeah. And then, of course, we're Americans, so we turn it into this competition, and you got to have $100,000, and you got to, fork it out, and you got to drive all over the country. You got to have a jersey. But whatever.
Yeah.
No thoughts on the high school thing?
I like it, man. I think it's cool.
You guys fishing in your high school?
Not this year.
Well, COVID has messed us up. Yeah.
Yeah, we did before COVID, and I donated a bunch of stuff. There's another teacher that's into bass fishing too that actually coached it, and I helped him out by giving him some rods and reels and baits and
cool. Yeah, that's what we should all do. We all have extra tackle. You got to find your high school guys and give them to them.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, man. What else is on your mind? People want to hear from Bo. Jeez. You have taken over the show.
I know. I mean, how long do you do this?
This is Bo Talk Live now is what it is.
I mean, people texting me. Oh, big deal. What the heck?
Bo Talk Live. That's where we're at right now.
I got a picture from the gym. My daughter at Bearden High School.
Yeah.
Shout out Bulldogs.
Yeah.
The girls' team's going to be unbelievable.
What were they last year? 32-2?
30-2.
Oh, okay.
We don't want to talk about those two, but whew, fun. Yeah, so they're at the gym.
Yeah.
I think they have a camp or whatever going on. They're like, got the laptop out.
Everybody's watching it.
That's funny.
Yeah. Hey, man, they want to know your thoughts on forward-facing sonar and the whole electronic advancement. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I do not have it yet. I'm kind of hanging in there to see how this shakes out. Stuff's expensive, man.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. Now, I will tell you an interesting conversation I had with a reference to my buddy Dave when we were at Hummingbird together. So there were a handful of us that really fished that worked for that company. And Dave had a conversation with an engineer one time and said, man, now this was 90s?
Okay.
He had a conversation with the engineer. He said, what we really need to see is like out. Like, I get it down, but like we need to see out. No joke, right, Dave? Dave's way ahead of his time, clearly. And he got some sort of answer like, we could do it. It's just expensive, and people not going to pay for that.
Yeah.
Whoa. Will they
back
not?
up?
Will they not? Because I see cats paying, $20 for a crankbait. Come on, man. If we think we can catch fish.
You ever paid $20 for a crankbait?
A mega bass jerkbait is $25.
Yeah. You ever done that? You have.
Yeah, because they catch fish. You don't?
Dude, I don't catch fish. That's the issue.
You just lost your street cred. Yeah, you got no mega bass.
I don't catch fish.
So you got no mega
know what my record is against Matt? What am I? 1-8, 1-9, something like that. I got lucky and beat him 1 year.
Nah, it's okay.
Because I got on the bank that I fished for 30 years.
History? Were we talking about history?
It was history, and they were there. And
nice.
I
How good was that win?
One out.
That was good.
That was
a
pretty good,
win,
man. Yeah. I don't like losing, and I lose a lot, man. Especially when it comes to fishing.
Really?
Not basketball, but
you're diverse.
Bowling.
You're diverse. You're bowling, doing this thing. This is complicated. You're fishing. It's awesome.
I do not like losing. Bottom line. All right. I have no problem getting beat. Do you agree with that? There's a difference between losing and getting beat.
I like to win, but I hate to lose. Whew.
Losing is
terrible.
Different than getting beat. If you go out and you put forth the effort, you put the time in, you make really good decisions on the water, things just do not happen, and you come in with 12 pounds and everybody else has 18.
Hey, look. So my buddy Sparks just says, hey, Bo, tell him about your super expensive Japanese stuff.
What?
Sparks says, tell him about your super expensive Japanese stuff.
What is that?
Just lures.
You have super expensive Japanese stuff?
Might.
Do they catch fish?
It's our first show together. Come on.
Do they catch fish?
Some more than others. Yeah.
What are you? Are you a Ford guy, Chevy guy, Dodge guy? What are you? Toyota?
Well, how'd we go to that? Ford guy.
Somebody was asking.
Oh, Ford.
Okay.
Oh, here it comes. Now, here we go. Right now, the comments are going to be, here come all the Ford
comments. It looks like a Ram guy. You're not a Ram guy.
It looks like a Ram guy. Hey, you want to send one my way? I'll have that jersey on so fast you won't believe it.
They want to know. In a Chevy with a jersey.
I'm staying clean.
Oh, my gosh.
Staying clean.
Wow.
Yeah, people are roasting me a little bit.
No, man, they're loving you. All right, here, I got to tell you
I'm a fan. I'm just like them. That's why I'm just like them.
Bo, you are being placed in my position as a business owner, and you tell me if I handled this correctly or I failed miserably.
Okay.
All right? Because I'm sure you have all the answers. All right?
Am I coming off that way?
Listen, for 30 years, I have received emails from companies that are general, like press releases or just information about their product that they want us to talk about or write about or do videos on or whatever. All right? It's just kind of the way that the industry has worked for a zillion years.
Mm-hmm.
In this industry, over periods of time, people would get those emails, or back in the day, it came via U.S. mail, and they would use it for content. And they would, write stories or shoot photos or do whatever of this content that keeps coming through. Well, finally, I got to the point that I was like, you know what? What do you think I'm really going to do with this information that you're sending me? Because what you're asking me to do is give your product free promotion for nothing. So
free for nothing, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out on that.
I like that. That's a Markism, okay?
Yeah, that's a free for nothing.
Free for nothing.
Like extra free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I made the decision, you know what? Just I put in the old do not send or clicked on the link or whatever. Don't send me this because, hey, I'm willing. If you want us to do a special show or if you are willing to spend some of that marketing dollars, but I have gotten to the point where I was not willing to continue to give stuff away for nothing. Nothing doesn't put food on the table.
There's a quote. Man.
Nothing doesn't,
Here we go, folks.
Make the house payment. Make the electric bill go away. So I just, I got to, and this was years ago.
Yeah,
I got to the point
that.
where I was like, somebody's got to stand up and say, look, the dynamic has to change.
So you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because I want to make that point.
Okay.
As a super fan, okay? I think I qualify as a super fan.
Yeah.
Okay? Things I like, I take note of who's supporting it. And when I have a choice, I support that.
That's a good thing, man. I like that.
So I like BTL. So guess what? You know? I would have on that fresh AFCO shirt that is in the luggage over at the airport, stinking American Airlines. I mean, I love American Airlines. Not their fault. Plane was too hot. Whatever.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, AFCO's kind of one of my boys. BTL, they got you have to have good stuff, but then I will support that. So I choose, as I've aged, to support those companies that support things I'm interested in, and I do that.
That's
so
cool.
In fishing, it's money well spent from the manufacturer to support good projects.
Yeah,
I take note.
Yeah.
I take whoever sponsors Bass or ML. I look at it and aware of it. Okay, they're supporting my sport, and if I like that, and I like live coverage, and I like Frank on Fridays.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
the way I look at it. That may not be
great.
Typical. The typical person may go, "Oh, that's $3.99. That's $5.99. I'll take $3.99."
Yeah.
I support those that anyway.
Yeah.
No point.
Look,
is that even close?
Yeah, and the other point I'm trying to make is, look, I will never, ever sell out to anybody, ever. Okay,
I think I believe that.
See this space right here?
That.
You should have seen the emails that I got from people that wanted to put a sticker on there once I went with the blue dots. I'm like, no.
We're just going to put vote for Bo on the back of that.
Bo knows.
Bo time.
Bo time. I like that.
Yeah, I think that's already taken.
I guess
or we can reach out for some marketing dollars.
Yeah.
Bojangles, but okay.
The point I'm trying to make, it's not that we don't talk about baits or boats or anything else that is not related to the companies that have supported this show for a number of years. If it is newsworthy and it is relevant to the guests that we are having on the show, we're going to talk about it.
No, I got lost in my whole tirade there because I'm running out of gas. But you do it in a tactful way. You do it in a tactful way. We know, we see your commercials. We know they're helping out. BTL, and I like being able to, if I got a 2-hour trip in the truck, I like hitting that podcast and listening to you and Mark, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you and Matt.
I mean, this is our job. This is how we get paid. I mean, I make a little money teaching and coaching basketball, but this is the primary source of income. And
you're the OG. I just got to say it, bro. You're the OG of covering bass. That's what's so awesome about being on the show
Yeah.
Check it off the bucket list, man. Fantastic. This is awesome. I mean, you were covering it when we had to wait for Bassmaster Magazine to come out to find out who, what, how, whatever happened. And, you know, of course, society doesn't accept that anymore. We got to know right now. We got to see how it's going down. And I like that. But you were there early on, and you've changed. Your model has changed over the years.
It's evolved because the platforms have evolved. And that's what we've had to do. But I think it is important that the fans understand that, yes, the necessity of any media entity in this business, if you're going to do this for a living, is to have the financial support that is necessary to make revenue. I mean, that's what it boils down to. And we have that, and the companies that have been involved with us are very supportive of what Matt and I do. And we greatly appreciate the fans supporting and taking interest in the companies that support this show. Now, having said that, we are very cognizant, and I think we do a really, really good job at making sure that it's not just the companies that support this show that we talk about. We talk about everybody.
You really do. You really do.
Yeah.
And I kind of was trying to be careful about all that. But, I mean, I know who supports this.
So
I'll buy those. BFFs.
I don't know what else to say.
BFEs. What else?
Dude,
BFFs.
I'm
BFEs. I'm out of BFE.
I'm gonna give some advice, and people can take it or leave it.
Is this for me?
For everybody.
Okay.
All right. If you're wanting to get into the professional fishing game, or even the minor professional fishing game, and you're trying to secure sponsorship, all right, expect more and don't ask for less. The value that you bring, if you do what you do and what you say you're going to do, is more than just a pack of worms.
Yeah, boy, we could have a whole nother show on that one.
Am I wrong on that one? You got to argue
you're right.
that one?
Listen, and I think this new generation gets it with influencers and that sort of thing and followers. However, if you're thinking about it, what do you bring to that company? That they're trying to sell product, you know. And I even heard John Cox said, he's like, "We're all up here fishing this lake to sell product." Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, he said it."
Yeah.
Like that's like sell product. Like John Cox is selling a few Max Sand Generals. He sold a few, right? And so that's what he's supposed to do. And I think young guns need to recognize that and make relationships early. The cool thing is these companies are making connections with these high school fishermen, right? The executives or marketing people are making connections with the college and college fishermen and ladies. And so they're building those relationships. So the strong will survive, right? Those guys that build those relationships bring value. Are selling? What are you laughing at? I can't talk and read this stuff.
You can't read Don's comment. It's here. I'll throw it up here.
No.
Here.
Oh, it's on yours?
Yeah, here. Let's see.
I'm worth a minimum of 4 worm packs. I have over 200 followers on IG, which, by the way, it's bo.stevens, STEPHENS on Instagram. And I will tell you this. If you're coming to East Tennessee, you hit me up. I'll help you out. Yeah, hit me up.
You going to give up the juice?
Well, I mean, I don't always have it. I don't always have it, but like I can tell them where to go get barbecue. I can help them tell them where to stay. Where to put in. Hey, that's a good part of the lake.
Just not a whole lot of juice, dude. We've went almost 2.5 hours.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
2.5 hours.
I apologize.
I went 2.5 hours with Ken Duke on Monday.
Listen, Ken Duke and Frank Scadder scared me to death. Ken Duke was like, "Be bold, Bo. Be bold." I was like, "What? What does that mean?" What does that mean? I'm a fanboy. And then Frank Scott's going to go, how'd he tell his parents he's going to do BTL while he's staying at their house? I was like, hey, it's no secret I bass fish. They know this.
Yeah. Dude, it sounds like you're ate up with it. You're just...
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Isn't it fun?
It is fun.
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
And it is. You want to wear a jersey? Wear your stinky jersey, man. Show it out. You got jerseys up here. I love your studio's awesome. Yeah. This is awesome. I'm telling you,
so
it's
what
like
are your
NBA
thoughts?
On TNT.
When you walked into the studio and you got
surreal.
Oh wait,
it's surreal.
First, did you look at my yard? Did you look at my lawn? How perfect my yard is. for the month of July.
Oh, well,
I'm a yard dude.
Yeah,
man.
I saw your whole staff out there working on it. I saw the guy with scissors on the bushes and the guy with the little thatcher, and then I saw the guy in the house. I mean, you got a whole staff.
No.
Yeah, and the guy at the gate with the little tablet, that's a nice touch. You have to buzz them in. This place is unbelievable.
It's not.
This place is
not
unbelievable.
even close, dude. All right, but
Well, that's what Matt says.
No,
that kind of had me.
No.
No,
I'm
your
really
yard
proud of
looks
my
good.
yard, man.
And listen, it's hot here in Oklahoma.
That's
I don't know
right.
how you're doing that.
Mother
Woo.
Nature, little rain. you know.
They canceled my flight yesterday because the plane was too hot. That's the punchline of a "it's so hot" joke. How hot is it? They canceled my flight because it's hot.
It probably was, man. Probably was. But you did everything possible to make it to your BTL
I
appearance.
did. I
here
rented a car in Dallas and
Yeah.
drove up and said, "Forget the luggage.
Yeah.
Forget the AFCO shirt. I'll
Yeah.
go stinky."
Well, dude.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thank you. You did not disappoint. I appreciate it. And I see names I recognize on the feed there. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm in East Tennessee. You bass fish. You got a friend in East Tennessee.
All right, man. You want to come back? Seriously, we've joked around, but
yeah, I'll let you think about it. You
did
better
a
think. You're a
great-
little emotional. See, you don't think you're an emotional buyer. You're a little emotional right now. You're a little emotional right now. Just give me a day and text me before that second date.
No.
Give me a day, then text me before that second date.
Definitely want you back, man.
Okay.
Definitely want you
No,
back.
I want to call in on the 24-hour show because there's going to be a point where you're struggling. You're going to need a little juice. You're going to need a
What's
little
the
boat.
over-under? What's the over-under before I lose my mind? How many
are the
hours?
topics? Do you have
How many?
anything specific?
We're all over the board, dude. We got
Yeah, I know. I love it.
guests lined up and in the industry, outside the industry. I'm working on this. What do you think about this? I'm going to have a radio / former television personality here in the Oklahoma City market who currently has a really, really good sports talk show on one of the sports talk stations.
Yeah.
Going to have him come in, knows nothing about fishing.
Oh.
And I'm going to have him sit right there in that
I
chair.
got questions for that cat.
And he's going to watch a bass tournament on television and give us
And we're
his
going to get
take.
his opinion?
Yep. Is that a good idea?
That's hilarious. It's going to be hilarious. It's going to be hilarious. Why do they jerk so hard and just skeet them across the top of the water and sling them in on the carpet? What's that all about?
Yeah, and
what's he doing? Why is he putting one in and throwing one back? What the heck is going on?
It's going to be interesting to get his take. He knows nothing about the fishing world. He does know who Jimmy Houston is, though.
Why? Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Why so many rods and he only uses one?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, think what the questions will be, right?
Yeah.
Maybe. That could be fun.
So doing that, we are going to have Chris Prather on. You know, the bowler.
Oh yeah, it's your
professional
guy.
bowler.
It's your guy.
Yeah, one of I'd say top 3 bowlers in the country right now, and also sponsored by Strike King, which is cool.
Chris Prather. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so
that is cool.
Yeah, he might actually be in studio on August 2nd because they're going from Houston and then he has to go to Wichita and he's going to stop here. We're actually going to go fish for a little bit.
Nice.
Hopefully. And then the next event is that following week in Jonesboro, Arkansas. So he's got a little time, so we might have him on, but he's definitely going to make the marathon show. All right.
So you're gonna have fans call in?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If somebody says 9 hours and he loses his crap. you got thick skin, don't you?
I don't think so,
I love
man.
these comments. The comments are the deal on
But
this.
now you know how
my
tough it is to do
gosh,
this
dude,
show,
I can't
man.
do it. Like, you're asking me something, yelling at me, and I can't. And then you're like, well, what do you think, Bo? And I'm like, I think so-and-so.
Did we have, be honest now, did we have a pre-production meeting?
Listen.
Yes or no? You can elaborate if you want to.
No. Okay, you want me to elaborate? That's a no. And that's the beauty of the program. So my buddy was like, oh, so what's the deal with Mark? You know, when are y'all talking? When are you going over the agenda? You know, the itinerary? What's the deal? You know, you got to get in early. This whole. And I knew from our text, like you don't want to talk, you don't want to ruin it by having the conversation outside and then having some second conversation that seems So you just let it go. You just let it go wherever it was. And I much like bass fishing, I was in the moment, and the show's in the moment. So we talk about whatever we want to talk about.
Yeah.
And that's what's cool about it.
Cool. Do you think there's a copyright violation if we do a bow nose BTL t-shirt?
Oh man, come on. You're going to sell okay, let's see. I have 4 kids.
Yeah.
So that's 4 shirts.
Folks, you want a bow nose BTL shirt?
Oh my goodness, bro! I don't know.
We're getting ready to do another run here in a little bit. What do you think, folks? Bow nose BTL.
Like listen, my kids. I'm going to embarrass the heck out of them. So I have a Bojangles bow time T-shirt.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm really having a fish fry or grilling out or whatever, I put the bow time shirt on, and they're just like, man, Dad.
Did you see that? Bow nose. NOES.
What the?
We could do that.
I don't know.
We're gonna figure something out, dude. You've rocked it.
No,
it has been. I got to show you some of the texts that I've received.
Well, I hope. Yeah, I mean, listen.
It's pretty good.
Life is fulfilled for me. Ken Duke said Bo's doing well, and I think Ken Duke had me shaking a little bit.
Really?
Hmm? No, actually, he was just the incentive that I needed to kind of ratchet it up a little.
Yeah.
Man, I love Ken Duke, and I'm a lure guy. So, and I grew up with bass. BASS. And so lures, I've always been, and my dad was a tackle rep for a while, so I used to get samples. That was the coolest thing. So that's where the addiction started. But I've listened to him a couple times, and you've asked him some questions about some old lures, where they came from, who started, whatever. And I'm like, oh, I know this. He better know this.
Yeah.
And then he knows it, and then knows the history of the history. Dude's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I want to be on with him. I want to ask him stuff. That dude is, and I want to hear about the smallmouth, the world record smallmouth.
We're doing that on the Marathon
where I've
show.
fished multiple times.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Show.
You got see there. If you're a real bass fisher, you got to go to Del Hollow. You got to go to Gunnersville. You got to go to Chick. You got to go to Okeechobee. You got to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm addicted to St. Clair. Whew.
Yeah.
It's weird. If you haven't been, it is so weird. It's a bowl with no contour. So take a TVA guy, throw him up there. It's like, what are we doing? We're floating around out here. Oh, I got one. It's crazy. It's awesome. It's awesome. I got to get back. COVID I'm jonesing because COVID kind of killed my trips up there. But it's right up 75 from Knoxville.
Yeah. Dude, you have absolutely.
Okay, I know you're trying to close down.
No. We'll keep. You want to keep going?
No. No, leave them wanting more. That's rule. That's the rules. You got to leave them wanting more.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right,
I'm good. This was fantastic. Did not disappoint.
No. Hey, I'm buying you lunch. Do you have time to go get lunch? We'll go get lunch.
Yes.
Talk some more.
Yes.
And get some more ideas from you, man. We didn't get into an argument either.
I don't argue. Well, sorry, Paige.
Ooh.
No, man, we awesome. It's awesome.
All right, man. In one word, tell me what you think about Frank Scalish. I didn't mean to stump you, man.
No, I want a good one. I think Uncle fits.
Uncle.
Because he kind of treats you that way. He kind of got that uncle thing.
Yeah.
Like he ain't your daddy.
Yeah.
But he kind of sets you straight.
Yeah.
And I like him. And he likes the Carolina rig. I throw the C rig.
Awesome.
All about it. Doesn't hurt me.
Awesome.
Haters.
I know.
Okay, man. Hit the cool music.
It's coming.
And you're gonna scream, and we're out of here.
I am. You want to do it? You want to say it? You want to close it out?
I have not earned the right. No. But I want to hear you do it while I'm sitting here.
All right, folks. Uncle Frank tomorrow, the genius, coming at you. Day 4, everybody's favorite day of the week. Bo, Stevens, you're coming back.
Okay.
Yeah, the fans love you. You've done just a great job. Very entertaining show. Want to thank Edwin Evers for being on the show. And everybody out there, man, thanks for the comments. And we will see you tomorrow with Uncle Frank. That's it. We're out of here.